What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am so excited you are here. We're gonna learn together. This is the Tarver Academy Summer Professional Development. We're gonna learn. Learning's happening. It's going down today. We're about to get started. My name is Tyler. I run Tarver Academy. It's an online resource for teachers and students and educators, and it's a great community where people just get involved and learn and get better. And I throw resources to you guys, throw ideas around. It's just a lot of fun. Just a whole lot of fun, Tarver Academy. So if you need anything, I'm here. TarverAcademy.com has a ton of resources and things that you can go to check out. A little bit about me, just so you know, you don't think I'm just like, hey, here's a random YouTuber talking about, videos or whatever. My name's Tyler. I started out teaching high school math, and then I moved into a tech director / facilitator role. Then I was a principal of a school, 6th through 12th grade. 6th through 12th grade. Fun ages. That's good stuff, okay? Good stuff. Never any drama, 6th through 12th grade. No drama. And our school had waivers from the state, so we did a lot of online, we did a lot of blended, we did a lot of in-person learning, all the above. So we get to learn a lot, make some mistakes, do some stuff right, and try to learn from everything we did. Then after that, I went to central office, and I was director of curriculum instruction, and now I'm the dean of NLC College. And I'm so excited to be here, learning and growing with you guys. I'm also giving a little bit of time for people to jump in, get started, and we're about to go through some of the housekeeping stuff. We're gonna do a little check-in right now at the beginning, and then at the end of this video, at the end of this training, we're going to have a chance for you to get a certificate showing that you actually showed up and you did the learning, okay? I think that this training and the other trainings that you are gonna get the chance to be a part of this summer are gonna help you grow as an educator. And if you grow as an educator, all it does is help the students and the community that you live in. And so let's try our best to learn something, take something away from this that we can put in our repertoire and get better with. Okay, so the first thing I need you guys to do is I need us to check in, okay? And this check-in, what it does is it timestamps when you are here so that you might not need this later, but if your administrator or whoever comes back and they're like, how do I know you didn't just click to the end? This shows that you were here at the beginning. So you can scan the QR code that is on the screen if you have your cell phone. And on my phone with me, get your phone out. I'll use my wallet, Atlanta Braves wallet. Film that, you just hold your phone over that QR code that you see on the screen. You'll see something pop up at the top. Click that and it'll take you to where you can fill out that you were here. It's very short, very quick. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to do that right now. Go ahead, scan the QR code, go to the website, check in, and when you do that, you will get an email. If you do not get an email immediately, this happened, I told you, I was a tech director for a long time, okay? I'd say a long time. I was a tech director long enough to know that if you don't get that email that you're filling out right now, it's because you typed your email address in wrong. That's exactly what happens. 19 times out of 19 and a half times, that's what happens. So go ahead and go to that. Remember, at the end of this session, there's gonna be another QR code that you're gonna scan that is going to give you the certification saying that you actually did the training. Both of these are time-stamped. So if your administrator or whoever's in charge of PD for your district wants to see that and be like, how do I know you did this? You've got your check-in email that is time-stamped by me, not by you. It's into a PDF or it's into that email. And then you will also have the timestamp on your certificate showing that you did this. Okay, so hopefully everybody is getting that done. Okay, giving you a little bit of time. If you have any trouble, just keep trying because I think it's pretty important to get that logged in. Now, while we're doing that, if you're finishing that up, or if you can hear me, what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to hit the red subscribe button. This is my YouTube channel, Tarver Academy. That's what I call it. It's kind of where I got this started. I had this before I had the website, and then I put up the website to put all the resources and all the stuff I was doing. But if you would hit the red subscribe button right now, that would be huge. That would be just super cool of you. And that way, you can hopefully see some of the other trainings that I'm doing, see some videos I do throughout the year to help teachers, to help students, to have fun and learn together. So hit that red subscribe button. Did you do it? Did you? You get the like too, the little thumbs up. That's just YouTube etiquette. You get the thumbs up. It's just really nice to do. So you want to hit the thumbs up button, you can. And I would love to start this. How about this? in the chat, okay? Because if you're watching this on my website, which is where you can watch it, that's fine. You're not gonna see the chat, but if you click and watch this on YouTube, you're gonna see a chat rolling on the side of the screen. Start it off. I want you guys in the chat to say who you are, like give your name, tell us what you teach and where you teach, okay? If you're an administrator, you can say that I'm a principal, or you can say your central office, whatever you do. I've got some people that have signed up for this that are aspiring educators. So this is great to say, I wanna be an educator, I wanna be an English teacher for high school, throw that in there. If you wanna be a kindergarten teacher, toss that in there, say you're in school. It's a great way to network, because I think there is an amazing community of educators here wanting to learn and grow together. And I think that it's great if we look out for each other. So throw in the chat, I want you to say your name, what you teach, and where you teach. Throw that in the chat. All right, man, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's our warm up. We're feeling good. We're stretching it out. It's always good to stretch before you stretch. I don't know, I heard some friends say that, so I say it from time to time. Okay, next thing. This is another little thing. I've got one right here. So I've written a couple books. I've done Superheroes Need Sleep Too. This is a children's book. It's like a nap time book, so you don't have to read that. But this one I think is super relevant for you. This is the Baller Teacher Playbook, and in it I have like practical advice. It's 18 chapters. So the idea is that you could do this like once a week with your team for a full semester, or every other week for a year, and try to improve your teaching every week. I'm not doing this to sell it to you. I'm doing this to say I'm giving some of these away all summer to people that are participating in this. So if you want a chance to win one of these, or I think I probably got some other educator books. If you're like, I don't really want your book, Tyler, I got a ton of educator books. I'll send them to you. All you got to do, follow me on Instagram at Tyler Tarver. Follow me at Tyler Tarver on Instagram, and I'm gonna be giving these out throughout the summer. You might be the person I give it to. So follow me on Instagram, and then throw something in your Instagram story if you want, just to increase your chances of me seeing it. So I'm just gonna be clicking through. I see people follow on Instagram. I'm gonna throw out stuff to them. So random people get it. You might not, but you won't if you don't. So there we go. Y'all feeling good? Does everybody feel good? Everybody throw in the chat who they are, where they teach, what they teach. Okay, so to explain also what this is, you are watching, this is a live broadcast. So this is going as a YouTube premiere or a full-on live video. So one of the two. Either way, that chat is happening live. Everybody that jumps into this video at any point is gonna be watching it at the same time as you. So it's great to get in the chat and talk, discuss, ask questions, give input. If we ask a question in the video, you can type it in your notes, but you can also type it in the chat. You can copy paste from the chat. It's a great way for you to be a part of this live broadcast, okay? So if you have a Google Notes, if you have a notes document, if you wanna take notes by hand, I've got a template for notes if you want. It sent it to you whenever you filled out your email. It should have been on that page whenever you did your check-in at the beginning. If not, it's on like every PD page. I have my website, tarveracademy.com. Click on PD and you get a free notes template, or you can take notes in your own doc. However you want to do it, take notes, write down stuff that's relevant to you, and copy paste stuff that people put in the chat. There's gonna be people in the chat that are way smarter than me. And so I'd love for you to copy paste that into the notes, and you can take that and make your teaching game elevate. So next thing, while we're getting logged in, people are still jumping in here. They're still jumping in the video, giving you a few minutes to do that. We're also, if you want to watch these videos, because after this ends, it's going to be gone off of here. However, I'm going to be putting all of these trainings, all like 30 something trainings. I think it's over like 120 hours worth of trainings. I'm putting all of that for people that join what I call the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's a small group of educators who are trying to get better every week, and I send out weekly emails during the school year to where you're getting templates, you're getting resources, back to school starter kits, you're getting templates for Google Forms, trainings, PDs, tons of stuff every single week delivered to your inbox, and also you have access to all of these trainings. That is available if you go to tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to. I think it's a great decision. I think it's a great decision. Nobody's in here. Who am I talking to? I'm not talking to anybody. Okay, y'all feel good? Y'all ready to start? Y'all feel good? This is a little warm up. We'll explain what's going on. Everybody feel good? 1 to 10. Put in the chat how you feel today. Or give me this, how about this? Give me an emoji of how you're feeling today. That'd be better, 1 to 10, or give me an emoji. I'd love to see it. Or just give me a word. You're like, I don't want to do an emoji. Give me a word. How you feeling today? And let's get rolling. Remember, input in the chat, take notes, learn, grow. Welcome to the best professional development that you're gonna do. Not guaranteed, but it's an opinion, but it's also true, but it might be biased, but it's gonna be a great summer. It's gonna be a great training. Hope you guys learn something. Hope this adds you value that you can then bring to your students and make your school, your community, yourself better in some way. Guys, we're about to get started. Y'all excited? Y'all ready? We're about to do this. Let's get ready to learn and have fun. Tarver Academy. Let's go. Let's go. Hit it. Hit it. Let's go. What is up? Welcome to Google Classroom for Beginners. I'm hoping this is gonna be helpful for you. If you've been in Google Classroom and you feel really comfortable and you've done a lot of stuff with it, you might wanna skip to intermediate, or maybe this is a refresher and I'll give you some resources that could help you in your class. Keep in mind when talking about Google Classroom is kind of like a hub that you send everything from. It's not something that necessarily has all the features. It's something that allows you to incorporate Google Forms or YouTube or Docs, Sheets, Slides, all that stuff. You're able to put it in there. It's your LMS, it's your learning management system. It's what you're gonna run everything through, okay? And so what I wanna do in this session is I split it up into 3 parts, okay? And then I've got some breaks in there as well because you need to step out, get a break, and you might learn something during the breaks as well, but some breaks and things like that. But there are 3 main sessions to this. So the first one, it's an introductory session. I'm gonna walk through some of the main stuff that I utilize when using Google Classroom. I'm gonna show you how to incorporate some stuff, how to assign things. That's coming up first. In the second part, phase 2, if you will, it's gonna be a little bit more. We're gonna talk about some digital interactive notebooks, how you could assign them, how you'd incorporate that in there. That's gonna be the second part. So it's like attaching some bigger, more like heftier assignments to students. And then the third part, I just actually want you to see what it looks like for a student to utilize Google Classroom. So 3 parts. First part, we're gonna go through some resources, ways to attach things, kind of some of the entry-level stuff. Part 2, we're gonna incorporate some bigger skills, bigger resources into Google Classroom. And then the last section, we are actually gonna see what it looks like for a student. So let's kick it off. First part, this was my friend Tammy. Did this session with her and I think she's wonderful and I hope you guys get a lot out of it and learn some stuff and even walk away with some free resources that'll save you time and energy. So let's kick it off with part 1 of Google Classroom for Beginners. Starting off, I always like to give resources right there at the beginning. That way that if like you tune out or like you can't stay, your kids are yelling in the other room, I always want you to be able to get those up front. That way you don't have to, you get those without like holding off the good stuff till the end. So I like to throw all that at the beginning. So I actually just finished making something called a Google Teacher Cheat Sheet. And this is something that I'm excited about. I took a bunch of tutorials and resources and I put it at tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher. If you just go to tarveracademy.com, under Google, it says Teacher Cheat Sheet. But if you want, it's all on my website, or you can click here at the top and get a Google Doc of it. Or here's another thing, you can click here on this second link and it'll make a copy for you and you can delete the stuff that you're like, you know what, my students don't need that, I wanna add this. You can make a copy for yourself so that you can do literally anything you want with it, okay? These are for you. It's not for me to like get money on. I just want you guys to have this resource and use it in your class. Now you scroll through, it's got all these resources for you. These are things you can make copies of. You got important links, YouTube stuff, channels I recommend on YouTube, and then tutorials for some of these Google products, which I'm sure none of you have ever seen any of these Google products. I'm kidding. We've all seen them, probably more than we'd ever want to. Now, this is another exciting one. I don't know if you saw this. Thank you, by the way. A couple of you guys said nice things about the resource. I was excited to put it out there. Now, some people are asking for stuff for students. I made a cheat sheet for students as well. It's tarveracademy.com/Google Student. Same thing. You can check out the doc here. You can make a copy of the doc because I've got stuff at the bottom. You're like, you know what? My students don't need this, or maybe that's geared towards high school and I want early education. Then you can make a copy at this link here and then delete anything you don't want. This is stuff that I think students run into. So students, parents, anybody, you can give them a link to this and you can use it. So is it okay if I go ahead and show y'all a trick for Google Classroom? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that if that's cool with you guys. So let's say you want to use this resource and you wanna make it available for students. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here to the top where the link is, and I'm going to highlight it and I'm gonna copy it. So I'm gonna copy that link. Now, I'm gonna go into my class, which is History of Magic, of course, and then I'm gonna go to classwork. Now, a lot of people wanna put this in the stream. The reason I don't like to put important resources or links in the stream is because it rolls out. It's like a Facebook wall. You know, after a while, it kind of fades off into the distance. I like to stick stuff under classwork because I feel like it's easier to find later. So if you click under classwork, we're gonna hit create. Now, remember, stream is like for announcements. Classwork is for anything that you want to hold the students accountable for. So you've got to attach a grade to it. It's stuff that you want to hold them accountable and make sure they do. So we're gonna hit create and we're gonna go down to material. Okay, so everything else up here is worth points. I'm gonna go to material. This is where you would put your syllabus, links to resources, all of that. So my title here is gonna be, we'll call it Google Help Videos, okay? Refer to these if you need assistance in, that's not how you spell assistance, in Google products. I'm gonna spell that right because this goes forever, okay? Then I'm gonna hit add, and I wanna add a link because remember I copied that link to the website. I'm gonna hit paste, add link. Now, I could go in and I could add, if say you had your own, like you made a copy of one of my docs and you deleted some stuff, you could go in and click Google Drive and then add it directly. So let's see if I can find my Google resources in here. I think I have them. There we go, there's a skill checklist right there. Insert, boom. So I've got 2 sets of Google resources right there. Now, I wanna sort this well. I need to pick which classes I can, and you guys, a lot of you guys know this. I don't want to be too basic, but this is take 1, so I'm allowed to be pretty basic. Over here on the right, these are your settings. These are the things that you need to look at every time you post because you want to make sure that you get anything that you need in there. So we want to click on these classes. I want it to go to all my classes. Boom. So I can stick this. I can go ahead and you can build your resource list and send it to every class at the same time. Saves you a ton of time in here. So here we go. We're gonna hit topic. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I've heard of 2 different ways that districts are organizing their topics. So the main 2 ways I've heard is, one, they'll organize it like this, like bell ringers, class materials, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, or some of them will do it by unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. I think that's a great way to do it. That's a great way to organize if it works for you and your district. Now, here's a cool one that I heard the other day. Some people are organizing them based on the week. So everything that happens in week 1, they're calling it week 1, and that's the topic. So they'll create a topic, they'll call it week 1, and then it'll go under that. Now, I would have to go to create topic. Oh, that's what I just did. So they'll do week 1. Now I'm gonna just put this under, I'm gonna create a topic called class resources. Okay, so it's good to go. Now I can hit post. So I've put this now into my Google Classroom. It's loading up, it's rolling in there, boom, just like that. So that's how you can add some of these resources to students. Now guys, I'm gonna give y'all some tips from somebody who's done like a lot of online learning and a lot of virtual stuff. You are going to get so many emails from students when you go virtual. If you have virtual students, you are going to have so many emails. It's because, here's why. Think of whenever you're in a classroom and one student raises their hand, you go over and you help them. You're talking to them and they're like, how do I do this? And you're like, well, you're gonna do this, this, and this. And you think to yourself, you know what? Little Timmy is gonna ask this question. I bet you everybody in this class is gonna have this question whenever they get there. And so what you'll do is go, hey class, on number 7, this and this and this, and you explain it. Here's the deal. With virtual, you're essentially sending that assignment out to 30 to 150 different facilities, different buildings where if you don't communicate it through email or through your Google Classroom, then they're not going to all hear it. So what I would recommend is find some of these resources, things that can save you time. And instead of helping students whenever they're like, how do I submit an assignment or how do I attach something on there? You could just say, hey, check the Google Class resources. It's in there. And they can go, and then after they go through, as long as you show them an easy way to get to that resource, which you've just done, if you put it in materials, if you do that, it sends them through that that little hallway of having to follow those procedures. And that way they build up that habit, and you're not always the resource for 100 people on the same question. So that's cool. In the chat, let me know, have you started putting Google Classroom resources in your Google Classroom yet? Let me know in the chat. I would love to hear what you're tossing in there. Okay, sweet. So let's keep rolling. Man, look at us. We're still in the resources part. I've got a ton more Google stuff right here. And then all those links are right there if you want them. Okay, so why even Google Classroom? Why has it become the platform that so many of us are moving into? So many of us are having to learn. Well, because it's integrated with Google. And so Google, the way they run all of their platforms, they make them all extremely user friendly. And you guys know this. One of the fantastic things about Google is they don't make one way to do everything. They make 3 to 5 ways to do everything. That way, whatever route you go, you'll all end up at the same destination, as opposed to being like, no, you've got to remember the way we told you to do it. We got to put it in the way we told them to put it. So whenever you're using anything Google, think to yourself, what is the most logical sequence of steps I should take to do this? And that's probably how Google set up one avenue. So it's easy to use. Number 2, it's integrated with everything else you're using. Google, think of this, Google Forms, Sheets, Slides, Docs, you've got Drawings, you've got YouTube. All of these things are owned by Google. Therefore, they're going to make it integrate with everything they're doing. So every single program that Google has, they want it to integrate with them. And here's the cool thing. They're not like super specific on, well, if it's not from Google, we're not going to make it work. So you get frustrated and you only use our products. There's tons of companies that do that. The thing with Google is they want you to put your Microsoft Word files in. They want to be compatible with Keynote. Every single program they think you might use, they want you to easily incorporate that into their program. And then when you start sitting side by side, you're going to be like, wow, Google Docs is way better than Word, and you're going to start using it. So third one, communication. They have tried their best at making communication easy and clear for students and teachers. Now, we're going to walk through some stuff here in a minute about how to communicate with students on specific assignments. But that's the thing. There are a couple ways to communicate, either through email or directly through the private messages in Google Classroom. So they're trying to build communication in there, and they want that to be a seamless flow for you guys. So cool. So I'm going to start, this is take 1. So I'm going to start at the beginning, but I'm going to roll into some resources that hopefully you haven't used yet, so that you guys can feel comfortable in these programs. So here we go. I got a couple comments. Joey said use that stuff last year. Some people have said they haven't put the stuff in yet, but they're about to. Got a Kate is teaching 5th grade literacy, and you're making topics by weeks. Good or bad idea? I think it's a good idea, honestly. We talked earlier about how you do topics. Weeks is good, not only for you, but for the students. Whenever they are going in and trying to find stuff, like say I miss a whole week or I miss a couple days, I know that I'm behind on week 1 just because you released week 2. And so it's a good way to stay on top of it, besides, the assignments being late or anything like that. So Brandy, hey, what's up, Brandy? How you doing? You got your syllabus and week 1 stuff. You're ready to go. And that's the great thing too, guys. I love efficiency. Tammy, do you love efficiency? Give me a thumbs up if you love efficiency. Tammy loves efficiency. I know you guys do too. The thing with Google Classroom is you can schedule this stuff out and have it just going live without even having to think about it. You could schedule every assignment once you get what you want, lay it out for the entire week on like a Saturday afternoon, and then you're just really answering questions. If you play it right, questions and follow up on students that aren't checking in. So a lot of you guys have tossed stuff in there already. Let's see. Michelle said that they post assignments scheduled for after the synchronous time? Is there a way to post it to all your classes, but with a different schedule for each class, or does it only post at one time? No, Michelle, you can actually schedule all of those things to stagger. You just can't select all the classes at once. And I'm going to show you an easy way to do that whenever we get into the bell ringers. So if I don't, let me know. Tammy asked a good question. Thoughts on adding parents in Google Classroom? I definitely think you should. Do you guys add them, Tammy, at your district? You add them in there? Okay, great. Well, I definitely think you should invite your guardians. Now, that is something your admin at your district has to turn on, but once they do, it is so easy for parents to see grades, missing assignments, all of that from their phones. I highly recommend it. Tammy, if you want, I'm about to roll into Google Classroom and show around. So if you want to post this in like the AMI for teachers and let people know so they can jump in, that would be cool. But no pressure, Tammy. You live your life. I'm not your boss. You do anything you want. Tammy, you're in charge of everything ever.
Be the boss, Tyler.
No, Tammy, we're co-pilots on this magic carpet ride. So if you want, you can toss that link in the AMI for Teachers Facebook group, and we'll get some more people in here so we can help them with Google Classroom. If you want, no pressure. Okay, guys. So we're going to roll into Google Classroom. I've already created a class, obviously, because I'm a huge HP fan. It's called History of Magic. And so I've got 2 classes in here. One class has 4 students. You can probably guess who they are. So I'm in my Google Classroom. When you want to create a class, you need to look at the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. Now, keep in mind, guys, this class is connected to your Google account. So I've got this attached to my Tarver Academy account. You need to keep it attached to your school account. If you're adding students from your school, you don't need to be logged into your personal Gmail account because you have a lot more features when it comes to your school account. Now, that you guys, if you've been in any of my trainings I've done, whenever you do a YouTube channel, I always recommend your YouTube channel is on your personal Gmail. But when it comes to Classroom, you need to be signed in to your school account. So in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to click the plus sign and we're going to create a class. Okay, so let's walk through this. Class name, we're just going to call this, let's see, I've got, we'll do Defense Against the Dark Arts, okay? Section, this is Protect Yourself. No, we'll call it an elective. That's not what goes in there. Section would be like section 5. So then we do subject is elective, and then room, and we'll say in the dungeon. Let's see if I can spell dungeon right. Nailed it, first try. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind, if you're an administrator, say some of you guys are principals, it does not hurt to tell all your teachers to label these the same way. If you're not like, so I work at a college. I'm added as a teacher in all of my teachers' class, like as a co-teacher in all of my teachers' classes. I don't do that to micromanage. I do that so I can efficiently run the school, check on student stuff without having to bug my teachers for stuff like, hey, Joe, what did so-and-so do and this and this and this? It allows me to have access where I don't have to bother my teachers if I need to check on something. And so I'm added as a co-teacher. Now, when I first added all those teachers into those classes this semester, it was all over the place. Everybody labeled them and titled them all these rando things. I was like, no, I'm going to change this. So I went in and changed it to make it look the same. So check with your principal and see if there's a certain way they want you to name these classes if they're tagged on them. If they're not, just do whatever you want. But you should probably have a system or else you're going to drive yourself crazy. So I'm going to hit create. Boom. Then it is going to create that class. And here we go. Okay, so look at this. Let's look up in the upper left-hand corner. I want to show you a couple things that are important. Okay, so here's my class title. Underneath it, I have my class code. This is how I'm going to add these students to the class. So there's a couple, like I said earlier with Google, there's a couple ways to add students to anything. And so with this, they wanted like one way to do it. And this is honestly, I only use this route if I have 30 students in front of me in person. I will say, all right, class, everybody go and sign into this in Google Classroom. And they're like, where do we go to sign into that? Say classroom.google.com. Every location for everything Google is whatever it is, .google.com. Classroom.google.com, drive.google.com. What else? Jamboard.google.com. It's all right there. So this is the class code that they need to use to sign in. Now, the other way to do that is you can go to people, and I could add students. So I can click up here on this little human, see this over to the right, click the little human with the plus sign, and I can start typing a name. So boom, I can add Harry, invite him to class. Now I can add multiple students. I could add, so add her, and then we can add Ron Weasley, add him, boom. So that's how you can add students to your class. Now, if you've got students in person, guys, I would just recommend hit this class code, boom. Hey, everybody sign into this. It's way easier on you. If not, if like say your students are virtual, you should probably invite them this route, okay? And then I can see that they're invited. They haven't joined the class yet. This is also the location where you would add any co-teachers. So let's say I want to add a teacher. I could say, hey, let's, nope, there's nobody. I could add, oh no, I'll add Headmaster Albus Dumbledore. And so I can invite him as a co-teacher. Boom. So that's how you invite people, is through there, or you can tell your students to go to the code here. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but over the summer, they added a feature. Did anybody tell me in the chat, when in March or April, whenever you went virtual, did you use Google Meet or did you use Zoom? Tell me in the chat. I want to hear what you did in the chat. Zoom or Google Meet? Tammy, are you team Google Meet or team Zoom? Which one are you? You gotta take that mic off.
Sorry, I had a parent come in. I am Google Meet.
Google Meet. Tammy's team Google Meet. That's my girl. That's
May I say this too? I live up where we get poor internet, and I get better reception with Google Meet than Zoom.
Sorry, I just swallowed my coffee. no,
you're sorry you got choked up about that.
I did. Okay. It just means so much to me, Tammy. By the way, guys,
I know.
Hey, let me know in the chat if we should do a Tyler and Tammy podcast on education. I think it's going to happen. I'm trying to talk Tammy into doing a podcast with me. Tell me the name of our podcast. Okay, good. We got a lot of people that went, some that went Zoom, but everybody wants to be Google Meet. Thank you, guys. Seriously, Google Meet is, and this is what I say about all the Google stuff. So like, I guess it was 6 or 7 years ago when Google Classroom came out, they kind of like, they had a plan for September to release, and all the teachers in August were like, hey, Google, we start class in August, so how about you roll it out right now? So they pushed it a little early, and it was super basic. It had like one wall, it was announcement, and it was assignment. That was it. That was all they had. Now, my teachers, I was sitting there meeting with them. I remember standing in the middle school, and I was talking to them. They were like, should we use Edmodo or should we use Google Classroom? I go, guys, here's the deal. I know right now that Edmodo has more features, but I guarantee you this, Google will take what they have now and they are going to keep adding features until it is better. And now tell me this, how many of y'all out there using Edmodo? Right around none of you. So Google Classroom, Google always wins. Keep that in mind. So if you're going to pick two programs, I'd go ahead and start on Google Meet, even though it might not have breakout rooms or whatever it is. Be on Google Meet because Google is going to add whatever features you're thinking to yourself that you want. And actually, they've already announced that they are rolling out rooms. They're also adding grid view for up to 49 people at the same time. So I know some of you guys got the Google Grid View add-on, and I think I've got a link to that video. I've got a video and a link to it. If you ever want that, just let me know. Holla at your boy. And so whenever you go in, you can add that add-on and have all the grid view, but Google's adding it up to 49 people. So they're rolling out a ton of features this semester on that. I know rooms, they didn't give an exact date, but they did say it is like in their next like chunk of additions, in which that means they've developed it. They're about to start tossing them in. So I would probably see them start slow rolling out to districts in the next month. That's my guess. That's usually how Google does it. But I can show you a workaround for Google Meet to create rooms here in a little bit, okay? So here we go. So we're back in Classroom, and I'm going to go back to my classes. Now remember, in the upper left-hand corner, that's kind of like your navigation bar. It looks like a cheap Adidas sign, 3 lines. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to go to Classes. Now I'm going to be in my History of Magic class, and let's say I want to add some classwork. So I'm going to go over here to Classwork. Oh, I didn't show you this. I'm so sorry. I got ahead of myself because I was so hype about Google Meet. They added this feature. Do y'all see that underneath here? It built in a Google Meet link directly in your classroom. So every class you create, it generates a like an individual Google Meet just for that class that is only accessible by students who you have added to that class. Now, here's one of the issues with Google Meet is that teachers were upset that students could chill in the room after they left. So I remember my son, he was in my office in his 3rd grade class, and they were all doing a big meet, and the teacher left, and he's like a big time rule follower. And so I walk in to check on him. He's just like sitting here like this, and there's like 8 little 3rd grade girls on there just like talking and showing their cats on screen. And he's just like looking at me like, hey, Dad, can I please leave now? And I look on it, and the teacher had left, and they're all just like chatting about like whatever pet they had in front of them. So that is actually one of the things that Google is rolling out as well in a month or two, is the ability to turn off a Google Meet when the teacher leaves the room. So that's actually something being rolled out if it hasn't been rolled out already. What up again? Hey, how's it going? Tyler here. How are you doing? How are you? Are you okay? Are you good? You having fun so far? Are you having fun? Okay, in the chat, let me know how you feeling. Let's do, let's just go teacher on this. A is, you can A plus, even A, B, C, D, F. Oh my goodness, don't put an F, that's terrible. That's so rude, man, why would you do that? Tell us how you're feeling right now. If you learn anything, if you're growing, if you're having fun, any of the above, tell me, give it a grade, A to F. And if you want to explain yourself, you most certainly can. But just don't be mean. Don't be mean. This is a nice, positive environment. Plus, it's probably a contract day, so you're getting paid for this. So let's not get too upset. You're chilling, get to watch a video and learn and grow with us. Got links and resources, templates, all that stuff. Okay, so we're about to take a break. If you need to take a break, go use the restroom, grab you a snack, get something to drink. I'm going to show some videos on here to where you can learn and grow. If you stick around, I want you to get that. So I'm about to kick into some videos, and then we'll jump back into it, and I'll keep a timer on the screen so you know how much time you have before we kick back into the teaching. So here we go. Hello there. I'm sorry, this is genuine, I meant that. So did you know that you can set up a temporary access for people on Google Drive files? It's true. Meaning you can set it up to where you share it with your class or other teachers, and they only have access until a predetermined date and time, and then it cuts out the access. Cut away the carbs. I'm so sorry, what? Show the people, Tyler! Okay. So after you share it with somebody, you'll be able to see like they're sharing permissions. Then right over here where it says editor, you can click on that little chicken nugget, go down to give temporary access. What? And then I can choose when this little guy is done. You have no access after March 16th, and you shall know. Click save and you're good. Now, keep in mind, this is only a feature if you are like a G Suite like admin. Most schools have this, I would assume, if you're with a school, which is cool. Nailed it, first try. Follow for more tips and tricks. I want to give you the add-on that'll save hours of your week, and it's just the best. I'd also like to introduce my co-pilot on this magic carpet ride, this young man who will not go to sleep. Say hello, Finn. Let's learn about AutoCrat. That's right. What AutoCrat does is it takes information that is submitted into a Google Sheet, which it can be through a form or directly in a sheet, and it automatically fills in information based on whatever is in the sheet or the form. Does that make sense? Do a form, and it'll create this email, document, PDF. We can use it for a ton of stuff. Certificates, if you fill out one of my PDs at the end, it'll automatically send a certificate with your name filled in, the PD you did, the timestamp of when you did it, all of it. That is called AutoCrat. So like I created one for professional development one time where when a teacher fills out what they want to take for PD, it fills in here, automatically adds up, emails it to the right people, and then we can all sign off on it. I created a 5-minute walkthrough that'll walk you through it. Link in my Instagram bio. Oh, did you know you can create virtual backgrounds for your Zoom to do like bingo or activities with students or whoever you want, I guess? Let me show you how to do that. Go to the link in my Instagram bio. Click on the link. Click on, there it is, Canva. Goats, click on it. They have free accounts, so you ain't gotta buy nothing. Go to the search and type in Zoom and click on Zoom virtual background. You can choose from a plethora of different things. Happy birthday. Oh, look at that, Costa Rica. All these beautiful things. Let's maybe try this little chicken nugget. You can use this, you can change out stuff. Mr. T, that's me, Mr. T, Tarver. Low-key, do we know what Mr. T's last name was? Maybe it was Tarver. related. You can put whatever their assignments are going to be for the day. Get that download game. Oh, check this out. That's me. I can teach class, blah, 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 Pythagorean theorem. Follow for all the tips and tricks, or else I'll delete your account. Hey guys, you want to learn how to do video? First, you have to put up with me talking about how I like cards. This is Greg Maddox rookie card. That's what's up. Let's get to learning. I'm so sorry. I'm seriously getting back into it, and I cannot help myself. We're gonna breathe together, and we're gonna learn together. So most of you guys will use Screencastify or Loom to create video, and they're great for video. But you know who else is in the game that you might not know about? It's the people that you love for design. If you don't use Canva, so help me, you don't watch me. And if might as well just delete your account because Canva is incredible. Let me show you how to do it. First off, if you need link in my bio, I've got a link straight to Canva and you can get it. It's free, but they got pay versions. Just do the free one. Hit video, search video, hit video, pick you a template. I'm a little click. Then you just make sure you upload the video into there. Bam, hit videos. Bam, you can select it and drag it in there like this. Click. And then the video's in there. This is a video I made like 12 years ago. It's gross. It'll tell you how long it is right there, and you should download. I probably recommend an MP4. Now you got the video. By the way, my book dropped today. Hey, what's up? How are you today? So I want to show you a website that I let my students play if they were like caught up on something, if it was semester exams and they finished all their tests. It was a fun site that they could go to and play where it required some thought and some strategy, but also it was kind of fun. It was called Fantastic Contraption, and this is like the original that I like. You just hit play, and the goal is you're trying to move, look at this, you're trying to move these into this area, and you can build contraptions, but it has to be in the blue areas where you build it. So like here's one, you would try to get that ball into this area. So when you hit start, everything just drops. So you've got to build something that carries it over there. You have different things that do different stuff. They call it like an online physics game, and I taught math, so it was pretty fun. Let's see if this goes. Come on, little buddy. Let's go, little buddy. Come on, buddy. Oh no, oh no. Oh yes, come on. Oh no, oh no. Is that the song? Oh yeah, I got it. Boom. The game's free if you want to play it. I've linked it in my Instagram bio if you want to.
So here we go. I'm going to turn this generate meet link on. It's going to say, do you want to turn it on? I'm going to say, generate that link, move that bus. Now, here's an option, guys. Look at this. I've got the meet link and I can copy it, but also I can make it to where it's not visible to students. So you could only make it visible at times that you wanted them to get in, and then you could turn it off. But then again, Google is rolling out that option where it's not going to be visible all the time. Yes, there is a waiting room. So they do have a waiting room. Dana asked that. I've done some meets and they have a waiting room and you got to get approved to get in. I don't know if that's across different, because I did it with people that had different email addresses, like outside of my domain. But I think that here's what I think, Dana. If someone tries to get into your classroom, like a student or a teacher that is not shared with the class, I think it'll ask, do you want to admit or deny them? But if they're enrolled in the class, it'll automatically do that. Guys, in the chat, if I'm wrong, and you've done it, let me know, okay? But I'm pretty sure that's what's up. So I can make it visible to students and I can hit save. There you go. Now you'll have your meet link right here. It's super convenient and you don't have to go create one every time. You don't have to post like 100 of these in the announcements, okay? So here's the deal. I don't use announcements just a whole tremendous amount. I use that if I need to tell them like quick, like, hey guys, do this. Hey, don't do this, or forget that assignment or whatever. I'll throw it in the announcements, but most everything I do is under classwork because I want to hold students accountable. Remember, classwork makes you accountable. Okay, so I want to show you, I always like to start with what is the most important thing. Tyler, if you could give me one piece of advice on Google Classroom as I'm completing my classes this year. My number one thing that I recommend, be organized. Be as organized as you can this year with Google Classroom, because here's the deal. You're probably going to be using it next year. And the more organized you are, the easier it is for you to reuse assignments from previous years. Okay, so be organized. You could do 1.1, 1.2. So like some people, I know they do this. They'll do for anything that happens on like the week 1, they'll do it 1 dot, and then Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2, Wednesday is 3, 4, and 5. So you could have 1.1 all the way through 1.5, and that's Monday through Friday. Some people split it up by like review, classwork, homework, resources, all that. You need to organize it in a way that is best for you and keep it consistent. I think Tammy said that in the chat. Keep it consistent. That's right, Tammy. And I recommend if you build out a spreadsheet on your own, in Google Sheets, that's not a bad option, especially if you have like another teacher that teaches the same subject, but is like teaches down the hall or whatever, then you need to match those two up. Okay. Cool. So let's go to the next one. Here's an example curriculum map. It's exactly what I was talking about with regards to teaching, and keeping it organized whenever it comes to spreadsheets and laying out what you're doing. I like this curriculum map that I made because I make it the hub for every link that I do for that entire class. So whatever you're doing, be consistent, be organized. I promise you, if you are organized, however organized you are this year, the you 1 year from now is either you're going to love or hate you. So please be organized so that you love yourself from a year from now. Okay, awesome. Okay, now I want to show you a next level feature in here. So let's go in and let's create an assignment. I'm going to go to create under the classwork, and I'm going to hit an assignment. Okay, so what I want to do, I'll call it this. Let's say it's week 2 and it's Wednesday, so we'll do 2.3, and we're going to say this is slope intercept formula. Now, guys, whenever you are giving instructions, do not give like one sentence, like, hey guys, complete the work and turn it in on time. Don't say stuff like that. The trick with doing stuff through a virtual environment is you have to be super clear, super procedural, and super organized in how you tell students what's expected of them. In my research that I've done based on different research studies, the top 2 reasons students disconnect online videos and online assignments is they're confused about what's happening, or they don't see how it applies to them. So anytime you assign something, anytime you're talking about an assignment, in the back of your mind, you should think, can they be confused by this on what's expected of them? And do they see how it applies to them? Keep those 2 in mind. So here's what I would say. Number 1, I want you to watch the video. 2, take notes on a regular piece of paper. 3, that's a skipped one. I know my numbers, I promise. 3, let's say you need to submit answers on the attached Google Doc. 4 is submit the assignment. I know it sounds basic, but how many of you guys in March, April, and May got like 400 students emailing you their assignment? You've got to reply and say, no ma'am, no sir, I need you to submit this through Google Classroom. Do not accept email work, okay? That's like a student, like if you're like, all right guys, turn your papers into the folder, and the kid just like throws it on the ground. They're like, you pick it up, teacher, okay? So you've got to reply back and say, make sure you submit it. And you could even send a link, say, here's a link to a video on how to submit assignments, which I have a video on. Okay, so I want to hit add. Now, I want to add the YouTube video because I said watch the video. So I'm going to add a YouTube video. Let's say this is slope intercept form. Let's grab a video. We're going to take Tyler's video. Okay, let's make sure I've covered. I always like to go back through my numbers. Watch the video. Got that on there. Take notes on a regular piece of paper. That's them doing this. 2, that's 3 is submit answer on the attached Google Doc. That means I need to attach a Google Doc because I told them I would. So I'm going to hit add, Google Drive, and I can pull it from Google Drive. I always like to save stuff like this under template. So let's see if I have a template in here for this. Boom, got it. It's my Hamilton. Oh, we're going to do this one. Template, 3 questions, insert. Now, what you could do, guys, I like to build out different templates for different situations. So if I went in and made like a specific template in a Google Doc for this assignment, that's great, but it only serves me with this assignment. You can go in and make Google Doc templates based on normal stuff that you like assign. So I would do like a 2-question template, 3-question template, 10-question template, 20-question template with different boxes. And I can actually click to see what I did. So this is the template I made. It was 3 questions. That's this ugly template, but I did some, looks like I made some tables in there. And they can go in and change it. Okay, Christy asked, let me look, I'm gonna make sure I answer the questions. Christy said, will Google come out with a submit button on their copy that they got from an attack? No, because Google wants them to review more than one thing that they need to complete. So they want them to get in the habit of attaching the doc or maybe a photo, or, you know, whatever it is, they want to be able to attach that and then submit it. It's like, it feels like 2 steps, but it's not. It's like the piece of paper is the doc they're working on, and then Google Classroom is their hand handing it to your hand. So Google Doc is what they're doing the work on. The Google Classroom is the delivery system. So great question. Sherry said, our students do not have access to YouTube videos at school. You need to tell your superintendent to open up YouTube. It's the greatest educational resource in the history of education. And this says, what is the easiest way to convert YouTube videos to post them on Google Classroom so students have access? Well, you could, if the owner of the YouTube video is okay with it, you can download the video from YouTube. Just search like download videos from YouTube and upload it to Google Drive and then share that with your students. Now, granted, that might break some copyright rules depending on whoever the YouTube person is. What I would recommend, if you find a YouTuber you like, try to get a hold of him either through social media or email. Most of them have contact information on YouTube. Try to get a hold of them and ask them, say, hey, we're not allowed to show YouTube videos. Would it be okay for me to download your videos and upload them into Google Drive for my class, and I won't publish them to the internet? Most of them will say yes. Like if you ask me, I'll say, yeah, go for it. I'll probably even have it in a Google Drive. I'll just give you the Google Drive link, Sherry. So if you tell me what it is you want, if I got it, you can have it. So great question. Great question. Now, I've attached all that. I've been very clear with my instructions. So now I want to choose this stuff. So which classes is it for? I'm going to say just history of magic. Now, did you guys know this? I can actually go in and choose which students get it. So like say I don't want Hermione, she doesn't need it. She's super smart. Harry needs it because he skipped class. And then Draco needs it because he's going to get, and Ron, there's no chance for Ron. So I'm only submitting it to 2 students, or I could say all students. I have those options. Then I'm going to say how many points it is. Let's say it's worth 10 points. Due date is very important. You need to mark a due date. Remember, this integrates directly with their Google Calendar. So I'm going to say it's due tomorrow. I can choose the time if I want. I'll probably just make it the end of the day. You can also choose the topic. We'll say this, let's do the week 1 topic you guys talked about. Week 1. Nope, it's week 2 because I labeled it 2.3. See, that's a really good organization. 3 assignments with originality reports left. So originality reports, unless your district signs up for it, you only get a certain amount of plagiarism checks. I'm going to hit assign. Boom. Dear superintendent, please chat with Tyler. Most of them, if they want to hear the truth, tell me because I will straight tell a superintendent the truth. They should not be using Microsoft. Get to Google because it's better. And the second thing is unlock YouTube. And they're like, well, if a kid watches something they shouldn't. What if a kid walks into a classroom and just says a cuss word? What are you going to do? You can't prevent that. If they do it, you find it, you treat it like it's a handbook break, and then they get disciplined for it. That's how you teach kids to get better and more responsible. That's how you do it. Okay. Melissa said, I want to post to multiple classes. Can I choose individual students, or is that only available in one? It's only available in one class, Melissa. So you can post to multiple classes at one time, but if you do that, you can't schedule, which I know it sounds ridiculous. I promise, I think Google's going to fix that as soon as they realize I'm not a programmer, so I guess it's a lot of work. But if you select multiple classes at once, it loses the option to schedule, and it loses the option to select specific kids. So great question, Melissa. Okay, sweet. So we just assigned it. It's ready to roll. Now, how many of you guys in the chat tell me if you do bell ringers in your class? I want to use this as an example for one of my next things I want to show you. So let me know, do you guys do any bell ringers in your virtual or in-person class? Tammy, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you do bell ringers? Do you do bell ringers? Yeah, Tammy uses bell ringers. Tammy's A game. Don't forget it. Tammy's the best. Tyler and Tammy podcast coming 2021. I'm excited. Tyler and Tammy in the morning. We're just talking. We're just drinking coffee. We're talking about education. Hey, teachers. Tyler and Tammy in the morning. We're talking education. Okay. Brandy Davis using my vids. That's what's up. Brandy Davis. Brandy's a legit good teacher. I used to work with Brandy. She's awesome. So a couple of you guys do them. A couple of you guys don't. I want to kind of show you how you can do that virtually, where that can be virtual delivery through Classroom for in-person students. You can do it where it's on the board and everybody can watch the same video, which is a good way to get your class quiet. You guys know when you play a movie, kids get quiet. That's human nature. So, oh, Tammy, Yes, Tammy's saying, tell them about make a copy for every student. Yes, I'm ridiculous. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to show you bell ringers right after this. So let's say the title is 3.1, pizza hands. I don't know why. I just think it's funny. Instructions are more specific than this. Sorry, it's not a good example. Now I need to add. I'm going to add a template because I want to show you this feature. And this feature, guys, this feature straight up is a game changer. Watch this. So I'm going to pick a Google Doc. Boom. Insert. Here we go. Now, I've got this. This is what Tammy just called me out for in the comments because I straight forgot, and that's on me, Tammy. 10 points to Tammy and Ravenclaw. Or you Gryffindor, Tammy. You let me know. Let me know in the chat, which house are you in? If this is our fake school we just made. Might as well use all the fake houses. So which house are you in? Now, this is a game changer. You ready? I've got that template that I just assigned. Now, you see this right here? I want to click this drop down and have 3 options. Students can view the file. That means that everybody can look at it, but they can't touch. Okay, so it's like if I'm doing a Google slide presentation and I want every student to be able to look at it and I want them to be able to view it, but I don't want them to mess up my slideshow. They can look at it. That students can view file. The second one, students can edit file. This is good if you, like say you assign, you have 30 students, you say, okay, we're going to split up into 5 groups of 6. And then those 5 groups are going to collaborate on a Google slide and they're going to build one huge Google slide. That's where you would say students can edit file because they can all edit the same file. This last one is a game changer. Make a copy for each student. Whenever you do this, what it does is, so right now I think I have 4 students in this class, 5 students, 4 or 5 students in this class. When I select make a copy for each student, it is going to take that template, copy it, and deliver it for every single student in the class in a way that I can access it before they ever even submit it. Yeah, guys, this is incredible. So it's going to create those copies. It's going to title them and label them. Tammy, what do you got?
But if they don't do it right then and they want to come back in later and do it, remember, it doesn't give them that
That's why
option.
Very good. Tammy brought up a really good point. So when I was going through and I showed you the first time how to submit an assignment, and then I hit assign, and then Tammy was like, hey, tell them about make a copy for each student. You'll notice I didn't go in and edit that previous thing that I just did. You know why? Because if you assign it before you select this, then you can't go back. You're going to need to delete the assignment and then go in and create it again. Or you could probably reuse posts and then go delete the old post. That's what I would do. Okay, and then when you make a copy for each student, I want to assign it to all students. Boom, assign. Now, I don't remember if it automatically creates the copy or if it waits until the student opens the assignment, but I can check. So do you guys know how to get to Google Classroom files from your drive? I'm going to show you. So you click on Google Drive. Anytime you create a class, it automatically goes into a folder called Classroom. So let's find that folder. Here it is, right? I think I passed it. There it is, Classroom. It generates it for you. Anytime you create a class, it creates a folder for that class. Then I can go in there. No, so let me see. Hold up. Was that the class I did that in? No, I did it in History of Magic, which is under this one. Boom. Okay, Pizza Hands, that's the assignment I just made. Boom, see, it already created it. So here's the cool thing. If you select make a copy automatically for each student, you'll be able to go in and see if students are actually making progress before they submit it. So I could go in and I could be like, okay, let me check out Draco. And I'm looking at it and I don't see any work and it's due tomorrow. I can reach out to Draco. I can just click on this. Okay. I can select I can go here. I can hit copy or comment. I can tag Draco on there and I can say, do your work, bro. And I can assign it to him and it'll email him. Then I can call his parents if I need to. I can contact him any way I want because I can see that he has not started yet. Eva said, question, if you do a digital interactive notebook, can you view it as they do or do they have to submit it every step of the way? How does that work? It depends on how you give them the notebook. So if by digital interactive notebook, you're talking about If you're talking about, like, I'm going to create a Google slide, and then they start putting stuff that they're creating in there as like a digital notebook throughout the whole year, then you can view it as they do it, as long as you submit it, you give a template, and you select assign to make a copy for each student. And then yes, so you could create a digital notebook the first day of school. You could assign it to every student, and then you could put the due date as the last day of class. And then students could go in and create it and build it. Now, if you just like put it in the materials and you say, hey, make a copy of this, you won't have access unless they share it with you. So great question. Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. Tammy with the assist. Good job, Tammy. Okay, so we've talked about this. Now, I want to talk about bell ringers. Is that cool with you guys? So I want to talk about bell ringers, and this is something you can do in person, or you can do it virtually, or both, because I know a lot of you guys are having to do hybrid classes. Let me know in the chat, are you doing fully online, fully in person, or are you doing a hybrid system where it's like some online, some in person? Let me know in the chat. So, Tammy, I thought you left, so I pulled you out of the class, but you're back in it now. You're back in the game. Okay, so let's go in and let's look at bell ringers. Here's why I really like bell ringers for virtual classes, because they serve a lot of purposes. Normally, we do bell ringers, we like write a question on the board, and everybody is gonna be like, they come into class, the bell rings, and they start working the problem. We do that because it gives us time as teachers to take roll, email who's absent to the secretary. We can pass out assignments to people that missed the day before. It gives us like anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes at the very beginning of class where students are working, so it's not wasted time, but it gives us time to do administrative stuff. Now, I think you should still do them for similar but different reasons. Check this out. You could go in and you guys, if you've been in anything I've done, I've talked about bell ringers all summer, but I want to show this in case you haven't, or maybe refresh your brain, okay? So I actually have a resource of, if you're math, I've got math bell ringers of me doing a problem of the day, and I do it like, hey students, you're watching this problem online, pause it right here, work the problem, and then we'll work it together. So I tailored it around me working the problem with the students. Now, not all of you guys teach math. So I was like, well, what's something I could do that would help teachers? If you go to tarveracademy.com and you go to bell ringers, click on quote of the day. From here, what I've done is I have built out 180. I think I go down to, I've got to put the links on here, but don't worry, like you're not going to post 128 bell ringers before I upload those. So I'm going to have 180 quote of the day videos for you to use through your year. What you would do is you want to do this bell ringer for multiple reasons. You want to create discussion. So you want to get people to start. So it's like me asking you guys to say stuff in the chat. This gets your students started on the conversation. Number two, if you do a quote of the day, it's more of like an opinion talk. And so you want them to apply it to themselves, which means they can't copy paste because it needs to be a personal application. Those are the best kinds of questions to ask students online so that they can't copy paste. It needs to be personal application because it needs to come from them. It needs to be applied to their life. Now, the other thing you can do with bell ringers, you can do bell ringers to take roll. And I'm going to show you how to set that up because I think they're rolling out an attendance system in Google Classroom. I know there are add-ons called like Google Attendance, but you could not do that and just do bell ringers and make that your attendance because it's attached to a grade. Here's what you do. So first thing on tarveracademy.com under quote bell ringers, quote of the day, I've actually got an example what you can ask them. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to copy it. Now, I'm going to go to Google Classroom and I'm going to hit create assignment. Now, when you title bell ringers, this is how I recommend titling them. And remember, if you do like a, week 1, 2 is Tuesday, you could do that. Or you could say week 1, Tuesday, bell ringer. Okay? And then you can just paste the instructions that I gave you. Hello, class. Watch today's video for quote of the day. And in the comments of this post, give your thoughts on the quote and how it applies to you. Do you agree or disagree with Tyler? Make sure to reply to at least one classmate. Keep it kind in the comments. Pretty straightforward instructions, I believe. So here's what you do. You need to add the video to this bell ringer. I click add. You can go to YouTube Now, you could video search and you could go Tarver quote and do this. Here's why I don't recommend that. For me or for any video you use, after about a month or two of this, you're going to forget what video you've used and what you haven't used. So I go to URL and then you go to this link. I try to keep it as organized as possible. All you have to do is right click on this link. So I'm going to take this link right here. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to hit copy link address. Then I'm going to go back to my classroom and I'm going to paste that link. There we go. Now, what I've done is I've assigned a video. It's me saying, hey guys, here's quote of the day, blah, blah, blah. Give your thoughts on it in the comments. I address it like it's being posted in Google Classroom. That's how I wanted to do these quote of the days. Then they know their instructions. You can choose all the classes at once. We're not. We're going to schedule, and I'm going to show you an easy way to do all your classes after that. I'm going to go to points. Let's make it worth 5 points. Now, here's where you can turn it into an attendance thing. Go to the due date and time. Let's say I want to do tomorrow. No, I said Tuesday. So I'm going to go to Tuesday. If class starts at 9 o'clock, I want to make this due at 9:10 a.m. So there's only a 10-minute window when students can go in and submit this and still be on time. I'll pick the topic is bell ringers. Now, I know that it's due at 9:10, so that means I need to schedule it for 9 a.m. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go to schedule. I'm going to pick that Tuesday, and I'm going to say 9 a.m. Not 89 a.m. That doesn't make sense. And when I schedule this, now it's going live at 9. It's closing at 9:10. You'll know that students that are there or not because they have 10 full minutes to go and do the assignment. It adds haste to the assignment, which motivates them to do the work or not. And then you can call parents and call students to get them working if they're not doing what they need to be doing. Now, here's the thing you're thinking. You're thinking, Tyler, that's a lot of work because now I have to assign that to 4 more classes, but I didn't, because you can't schedule more than 1 class at one time. Nay, watch this. Go to create, reuse post. You can not only reuse posts from a year ago, you can reuse posts that you just assigned literally seconds ago. So as soon as this uploads, okay, yeah, guys, think of your questions, start asking them. After I get done showing you this reuse post, I want to answer every question you have until we run out of time in 5 minutes. So ask your questions. I'll answer as many as I can. Still waiting on it to load. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. Yours will load faster because you have great internet, and I'm streaming this video, so it's moving a little slow. But what you would do is I clicked reuse post, and I can go in and I can find that class assignment that I just posted for another class, and I can reuse that for a different class. So it's really quick and easy to go in and post it and schedule for one. Then you grab it, pull it in, and then all you're doing is you're selecting the due time and date, and then the start time and date. So it's really easy to go in and schedule it for 4 or 5 classes at once. Now, if you guys go fully virtual and say you have 5 sections of geometry, you might just look at just combining all those geometry sections into one geometry class. That way you're only assigning at one time. Okay? Yes. Anna, this will be available to rewatch at the exact same link that you're on now. So it will be available. You can rewind. You can do anything you need to with that. It's still loading. I give up. But here's the other cool thing. So yours, it'll load better. When you hit reuse post, you can do that because you've already put your instructions. You've got a video, all that. You can reuse a bell ringer. Monday, I can go Tuesday, reuse, schedule, change out the video. All the instructions stay the same. You notice I wasn't specific with the instructions. I didn't put the quote in the title. I could just go in and change the day. I can change the video. Then I schedule it. You could schedule bell ringers to go out for all like the upcoming week in like literally 10 minutes once you get your first one done. So use that to your advantage. Okay, my reuse post isn't working. It's taking its dear sweet time. But I want to show you this. This is where you can look at all of your assignments. If you ever need to go and know where to check, go to the 3 lines and it'll tell you what you need to review. So I can go to 2 review and I can see this was assigned to 4 people. I could click on it and I can go in and see all of their progress on these. None of them have turned it in. I would select everybody and I would hit this and I would email all these students at once. Now, look where it puts their email addresses. it automatically puts their email addresses under a BCC. That stands for blind carbon copy, which means that they cannot see who else was added to this. So they can't see each other's names. I can say, do your homework or you gonna fail. Hermione's not gonna like this. Hit send, boom. I just quickly communicated with all of those students at one time. Okay, it says, is email to all students available in personal Gmail account? Now, it is if you create a classroom with a personal Gmail and add their personal Gmails. Here's what I recommend for that. What you should do is you gather their personal Gmail accounts in a Google form, and it'll populate into a spreadsheet. And then you can just go in and highlight all of those email addresses, copy, and then you can paste those directly into an email header. And so it saves you a lot of time. So I would highly recommend getting their personal emails that first day. But also you need to start telling your students to check their school emails, because it's going to be the main way you communicate. So thank you, Sherry. I've been posting videos on TikTok a lot lately, like Google tutorials and stuff. So I appreciate you, Sherry, watching those. Thank you so much. Glad you guys learned something. I hope you can use some of these resources. If you need any of those, let me know.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Hey, it's Tyler here. I'm just gonna give you a little break. So if you need to go do something, you need to go use the restroom, get a snack, get something to eat, whatever, you can go do that. I was gonna chat with you about some stuff, give you some time to do that and check in, maybe say hi. If you want in the chat, let's do a little check-in. In the chat, how you feeling? Toss in your emoji of how you feeling right now. Let's do a little emoji checkup, if you will. So while you're doing that, I do want to give, you know what? I spent a lot of time writing this book, and I genuinely think this book is going to help you in your classroom. It's gonna maybe inspire you more than anything. It's a read with me, and one of the things that I feel like I've never been the smartest dude in the room. I've never been, the most talented, but I'll say this, I was always been pretty approachable, I think. I've been approachable, and I think what this is, I've tried to be as relatable as possible. I'm talking about my experiences, things I've run into in the classroom, what I've learned as a teacher and as an administrator and as a student, what I learned. And so this is the Baller Teacher Playbook. If you're interested in checking this out, I recommend, of course I recommend, it's my book. It's not the best book on education, but I think it's good enough to help you in some way. It's got a lot of practical experience in it. I've got quotes. That's a do you boo-boo. I could have picked a better chapter. Here's one thing, I want to show you one thing that I did at the end of each chapter, because I know teachers. Okay, I've put in practical application, I put in reflection, because we know reflection is important, even though we never have time to do it, but it's got spots for you to write that in, so this is something you can work on by yourself or with your team. But here's the part that I did, and this is legit just for teachers. I don't know if you can see that. I put in, at the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR. That's internet talk for too long, didn't read. So what that means is, let's say you've got a team meeting, okay? Because there's 18 chapters in here. That means you and your team, or you and your building, you can go through a chapter once a week. You meet on your planning period, spend 10 minutes talking about what you did, what you tried, what worked, what didn't work, stuff to help improve your class and improve your students. Every week you can do that. Have you ever done this? In the chat, be honest, you ready? Have you ever had a team meeting where you're supposed to read something and you're walking over to the meeting and you're like, oh no, I forgot to read the thing I'm supposed to read that we're gonna discuss for like 15 minutes. So you just try to chill and hopefully don't get called on or get called out for not reading it. At the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR, where in 2 to 5 bullet points, I summarize the chapter. So you could be walking to the meeting, you could read these 3 or 4 bullet points and be able to have a conversation about the entire chapter. There's stories in here, there's practical experience, there's ways that I messed up, ways that I failed, and then ways that I feel like I succeeded, and just talking through what I learned from both of those. And I would love for you to learn and grow with me. So if you want to check out that book, it's on Amazon. I'll have a link on the screen if you want to get it. Link is in my bio. I link links everywhere to it. So Baller Teacher Playbook. I think it can help you in your classroom. Okay, we're about to get started. Kick back into it. Hopefully you're ready to roll, ready to go. And let's jump back in. Let's jump back in like Michael Phelps, okay? Well, does that work? Does that work? I mean, he jumps into the pool. That's what I was going for. I need to know more like high diver. High divers would have been better. I'll tell you this, we're gonna stick the landing like Carrie Strug. Y'all remember her? Carrie Strug, remember the Olympics? Georgia Olympics? Atlanta Olympics? Remember that? It's okay. It's a very narrow reference. All right, let's get started. Let's kick it off. Let's jump back in. Get your notes out. Get your screens pulled up. Get your coffee ready. Get your ice water. Your sweet tea. If you're from Arkansas like me, you know you like that sweet tea. And we're about to kick it off. Here we go. Let's get back in it. Let's get back in it. I'll see you guys. All right, welcome back. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I hope you've been able to take a couple breaks, maybe learn something during the breaks. Hope you learned something about Google Classroom or walked away with a resource that could help you. This next part, I really want to lean into the digital interactive notebooks. I want to show how you can assign those in Google Classroom. And even if you don't want to use the specific notebook I talk about, think of how you can assign stuff to keep things organized for your students, not only in Classroom, but within the stuff you're assigning in Classroom. Okay, so that's the idea. This next part, think, how can I consolidate some of these things? Think of it almost like you're handing them packets. Like here's a packet, but it's being put into Google Classroom. So that's the mindset we want here. And then remember, after this section, we are going to end looking at it from a student's perspective. So let's kick it off. Phase 2, Google Classroom for beginners.
We're looking over here at our class resources, and look, there it is. Now students can refer to this at any time throughout the year. Your syllabus, Google to help tutorials, anything that any links that they need needs to be separated, because here's the deal. This is like, think of semester long links and resources that you're going to be referring to all semester and all year. If you just toss it in the stream or sort it into a unit or a category or a week, then they have to think, okay, wait, where was the link for this? And then they have to go back to like week 3, day 2 to find that resource. Okay. So, yes, Robin asked a great question. Thank you so much, Robin. Can you pin it to the top? Yes, you can. Check this out. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so you can see it. Do you see those 3 dots right here up in the upper right-hand corner? You can click on those and you can drag it to wherever you want in the list. Click and drag. So I can drag my resources to the top. I could change week 1, put that up here at the top. I could put week 2 at the top. Boom. Or you can go click on those 3 dots. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can drag it to the top. You click this. Scott's already got me. I see you, Scott. Click these 3 dots. You can move it up or down from there as well. Look at that. See that? Okay. So that allows you to move it up or down, or you can pin it. Okay. Now, those are great reps. So like if you have like a Google Meet link you like, that's not like built in, anything that you think is a semester, like a long-term reference. I used to teach high school math. I'll tell you this, my formulas page, that would have been linked under class resources because that's something they stay there. Robin, I'm not sure if it stays there. Whenever a new assignment or a new like topic's created, I think it goes to, let's find out. Let's do this. Let's create a topic. We'll make another material. I'm going to put it under, let me see if you can pin it, guys. That's a good question. So let's say, I don't think you can pin it, but let's see if this falls in the top or the bottom. This title is Google Tips 2, okay? More Google stuff, okay? So I'm gonna add, and I could add my YouTube channel. So youtube.com/Sir Tyler Tarver. Add link, boom. Okay, so let's add a new topic. So I'm gonna hit create topic. Let's see, I'm gonna say Google tutorials, and I'm gonna hit post. So I've created a new topic and it sticks it to the top. So all you're gonna have to do is anytime you create a new topic, which won't be very often, even if you're doing it week to week, then it's gonna have to go in there. So you can click, drag it up to the top, boom, it's back up there. So it's gonna have to go in a little bit. This is fun. Boom. Okay, so here we go. So we're all in here. We're going to keep going through this. So that's how you need to do that. You need to pin a class resources section to the top. Okay, I say pin it to the top. You need to keep moving it to the top. And every time you create a new category, it's going to go to the top and you just drag the new one above it. So that's something to think about. And I think everybody should have that in their class. Okay, so let's talk about digital interactive notebooks. So if you're in the presentation, which I'll toss the link in again of what the presentation is. So it's http:/bit.ly/Google to the max. Okay, so I tossed the link into the presentation if you don't have it. This is slide 6, and there's a bunch of digital interactive notebooks out there. I've got some that I made, and I'm going to kind of show you what I would do with mine. This will apply to any digital interactive notebooks you have, and they're all a little bit different, but I'm going to kind of show you the one that I've got and how I would use it. So I've got a full semester one right here, and then I've got a weekly one. I would probably use the weekly one at this point because most of you guys have started school. Now, you could do a full semester one and just allow students to look at it instead of like making a copy for them, because you're not going to want to make a bunch of copies and you might not have your whole semester built out. Okay, so what you can do, and this is how I would set mine up. That's a good, I don't know if I'm saying your wrong name correct. Dina, is that how you say it? Dina? This is what I would do and how I would set it up in Classroom, because you had them share it with you. What I would do is I would actually create it as an assignment, and that way it'll automatically create the copies for them and you'll already have access to it, which I'm going to show you. So we're going to click on this and I'm going to click on a weekly template. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to ask me to make a copy. If you click on those links, you can have these are free templates that I made for everybody and anybody that wants it. So if you click on that, it'll make a new copy and you can check it out. So, and you can have it, it's yours. I don't have access to it, it's yours. Okay, so there's like a little welcome page from me, and I've actually got a YouTube video walking through how to use a digital notebook on there, but I'm showing you how I would use it as the teacher of the class. So I can take that first page, click off of it. Okay, so what you would do is you would make a template that you're going to share with your students. So I'm making a digital notebook that has kind of like the baseline of what I want students to have. And then I'm going to share it with them and then make a copy for each student so they can fill out the notebook themselves. Okay. So they would put their name here. You could put the subject because you know what their subject is that they teach or that you teach or the class that you're in. And so you could put that subject there. You could toss in, this is, what do we say? Geometry. Okay, and then you put your favorite quote here. I'm not going to do that, but you can put a quote in for it. Here's some important links. Now, I tossed this slide in because just like we talked about in class resources, there are certain links that students are using all the time that it's helpful to make as easy as possible for them to find them, okay? So you would go in and you could put like a link. So say you use, you could use Google Classroom. And so I could link that. Hit Google Classroom, so classroom.google.com. Boom. Did you guys know this? You can search for websites. So like if I wanted Tarver Academy for more resources for students, I can click on that, hit K, and then I can just search Tarver Academy. It searches Google in the hyperlink so that you could just click on it and attach it. Isn't that really, that's incredible. I love Google integrating. So you toss your links in there. You can delete mine. You can leave them. You can do whatever you want with them. There they are. Then I even tossed in some Google help tutorials because it doesn't hurt to have help videos everywhere that a student might go. So here's some helpful tutorials for students that they might need that they can refer to as they're using this essentially as their online binder for the year. And so you can go through there. If this is weekly, I set up attendance. You could delete this page if you wanted, or it could be a clock in, clock out resource for students. So they could go in and say, oh, I'm going to sign in at 8 o'clock. And they could write, I was in at 8 o'clock and I signed out at 11 o'clock. And they could sign in and sign out for the day if you want. There you go. You could do that. And then I've got a spot for students down here. What worked with your schedule? I did well in the mornings. And then also over here it says what you don't like. And this is a way for you to go in and check at any time and get updates from students on what they're doing. You wouldn't put that in there because you're making the template for all students and you don't want to give the advice. I'm just saying the students can do that whenever they want. Okay. Then you roll into your week. You would just toss the link on it and say, oh, this is week 3. And then you could put something here. You guys are doing great. Keep rocking. Okay. You can put in stuff you want students to see in there. Now we roll over here to week at a glance. This allows you to go in and say the things that you want students to know about the week. So Monday, you could just say, it's a half day of learning, or, change of times. We start at 9. You can just put reminders in there. The more places you remind students or put links or short links or anything like that, the better it's going to be for them. It is okay to put it in a lot of places. It's just like with Google. whenever you use a Google product, they make like 4 different ways to do anything. And so what you can do is you can make 4 to 10 different ways for students to get to something. So, all right, cool. All right, so, oh shoot, I just did the wrong thing. I accidentally put, Carissa, I did not mean to put you in timeout. My bad. Oh my goodness, y'all crazy. People in the chat crazy. All right, so my bad, Carissa. Okay, so then what we did is I kind of made it like a to-do list for the week for the students so they can go in and do what I call big 3. Yes, Dina, that's a great question. Dina asked, I'm going to toss this on here. Dina asked, would you need to add that info before sharing it with the students, or would it automatically add? You would need to add it before you share this with the students in Google Classroom, okay? So there's 2 ways to do this. If you're making it to where like you're gonna build out the lesson plan or like the digital notebook for them, and then you're just gonna share it so they can all look at it, then you can update it as you go. But if you're going to put all the resources and the to-do stuff and like plan out the week for your students, and then you're gonna send it to them and make a copy, then you can't go backfill. Okay, and that's why I said earlier, like I have a full semester template. You might do that for second semester when you can plan the whole semester ahead. But right now, I would do week to week, take a template, build out your links, your title, and all that stuff. And then you can just put in separate assignments or things that you want students to do each day. Okay, so you can go in and do that. Cool. So there you go. That's not a bad resource. I put what I call big 3 on here. So like on Monday, let's say you want the students to work on their most important thing that day is, talk to your group about the project. So you could put that in on your big 3, and then students would know that they need to do it. And I also set it up to where they can fill in the boxes. So like over to the left, I have instructions. You click on that, and then you could just go to this little paint fill. And then whenever a student gets something done, they can just click that and then just paint fill it and say that they did it. See, that's like a checklist for them, and they're just filling it in based on that. And they can fill this out. You can fill it out however you want to do it. So that's another way to do it. And I've got instructions and an instructional video on how to do that off to the left. So if you see that, they can watch that. I try to put the instructions in there for stuff so that they can see it, as they do it. Oh my goodness. All right, so cool. So that's what you can do. So think of some resources or some ways that you could utilize this in the future. Okay, hold on 1 second. And awesome. Okay. All right, so we're rolling. I've got that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Almost any digital notebook's gonna have it. I've also got a notes section, so if they want to build in a notes page, you can add that. I've got a Cornell notes page if you want it. And then this one's good because it allows the students to reflect. It's big wins from the week. What went well? How could it be better? You want the students to fill this out. You can even have them screenshot it, send it back to you, or you could go in and look at it, okay? So now you've set up your digital notebook, either mine or the one that I have or any other one that you have, and now you want to share that in Classroom. So what you want to do is you want to go, I'm going to change the title. We'll call this like week 3 digital notebook, okay? So I'm gonna know to go find that. So yes, I am trying to model Tammy how to handle chats, but also teach while you're doing it. What I would do, actually, I'm gonna show you what I'll do right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to sign on over to YouTube. I'm using StreamYard, which allows me to video, but also show my screen. And I'm gonna go over to YouTube, because in YouTube, you can add moderators. And so I'm public right now on YouTube. So anybody can comment, get in the chat, say whatever they want to say. And so you want some students to be moderators. It's almost like they become like hall monitors for the chat. And so I'm going to sign in. It's logging in right now to that. And what you're going to do is you can actually go in and I can make a couple of you guys moderators. So you can block, put people in timeout. You can adjust anything in the chat that you want. So let me see. Ooh, okay. So right now I'm going to go in and I'm going to make Tammy a moderator. So let me see. If I scroll down, I added Tammy now as the moderator. So now Tammy can go into the chat and she can block people. She can adjust it. She can do whatever she needs to do. And she has the power of the chat. Okay, so I'm back over here. We've just created a digital notebook. We did a weekly one. It's for students to fill in their to-do list. You can put stuff in. They can add notes. They have options. But you filled in the important stuff that you need to do or that they need to do for the week. Now, the reason I recommend the weekly digital notebook for right now is because you've already started. You don't want to hand them a full semester because you're going to be adapting and adjusting as you go. Week to week gives you more, you have more intervals where you can go in and adjust stuff. So whenever you go in here, you can go to create and you can go into, let's see, we could do, I'm trying to think if we should do an assignment. If you're doing notebook checks, honestly, I would do digital. If you want them to take it seriously, you should do a digital interactive notebook assignment. So you want to go to, like, I would make it worth points, because if not, they're not going to take it serious. So you would call this, week 3 digital notebook. Okay. And then this is what I do. Also, this is a fun fact in Classroom. The more basic or simplified you can be, the better it's going to be for the students to be able to go in and see what they need to do next. You now have a barrier between you and your students. It's not you standing in front of the class talking. It's distance. It is, they're at their home. There are different facilities, 30 to 150 different facilities, their homes all across the place. So what you got to do is you got to bridge that communication gap that happens whenever you're at different locations. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say number 1, you need to say, review what you need to do for the week. 2, you want to go in and say, fill in your to-do list of what you're doing. Make sure you, I spelled it wrong. Make sure you submit at the end of the week. Okay. So now I need to add the resource. So I'm going to go add. I'm going to go to Google Drive because I want to pull this from where I just worked on it. Now it goes to recent. That's like your default. So I'm going to go over to recent. And I'm going to, let me see if it did it. It does this sometimes. It creates it in the wrong account. So I'm going to hit share with my account. Oh, sorry. 1 second. So this is what happens sometimes when you're planning. You got to hit share. And I got to make sure that the other account that I was signed into has access, because that's why it's not showing up in the drive. Tyler at. Okay. Boom. There we go. Hit send. Hit send. Okay. Cool. Now I'm going to roll in to my classroom again. I'm going to check this out. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm going to search in Drive for week 3. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to find that assignment and I need to attach that assignment. Now, remember, only attach these assignments when you're ready for it to go out to all your students. So I'm going to hit insert. Okay, this is where it's key. This is the big deal, okay? So somebody, I think it was Robin, asked earlier, can you change it later? If I select students can view file, then I can change it as we go and they can look at it. However, they're not going to be able to go in and edit it because you've only given them view access. You can click on this. You can go to make a copy for each student. We talked about this last session that we did. Make a copy for each student is going to take your original copy, whatever it is, whenever I hit post, and it's going to go, and it's going to make a copy for every single student that they can fill out individually or as a group, however you want to do it. I'm going to make a topic called, I would definitely go digital weekly notebooks. That way I can organize those. It's worth 100 points because it's important. I can make it due at the end of the week, and then I can assign it. It is now going to create a copy for every single student in my class. So Chad, that's how you make a copy. When you do that, it will, okay, if you make a copy of the digital notebook and link the copies, it will update the changes as you add and change things. I don't think it will, Chris. I may be wrong, but I don't think it will. So Christine said, can you make a file view only if it is not an assignment? Can you make a file view only if it is not an assignment? Yes, you can. That would just be a sharing permission. You would go up to share and you could just make it a link. So right now, you guys can be in my presentation. It's because I made it visible to you guys. You'll share it and make it visible to anybody with the link, and then you'll just make it visible to your, it will just make it visible to the people that have the link, and you can even restrict it within your organization. So no random people across the internet can jump in and start talking on it. So there you go. Here we go. Okay. All right. So it will not update. Once you send it out, it's almost like it takes a picture of it and it sends it out when it looks like that, unless they've changed something. Now, here's what the cool thing is. If you do that, you can now access that in your Google Drive. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. I'm going to go to my folder that Google created for me called Classroom. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to, see, this is, I can't, let me find it. It was History of Magic. Magic class. Okay. So we're going to find that class. We're going to find that assignment. Let's see, week 3. Make sure I'm signed in the right one. Okay. And what it would be is, there it is, 3, digital notebook. It's usually under Classroom. I pulled it out for another tutorial. And see what it did? It took and made a copy of that for each person individually. So Draco, Harry, Hermione, and Ron all have their own copy. And you have access to it. So if you just shared it with them, then they can't see it, but they can jump in. Let's see. You can't see it unless they share it with you. With this, you automatically have access to where you can go in and see it at any time. So you could go in at any point, check a certain students, and look at what they have going in their digital notebook. You could go in and you could put comments. I could go into Harry's, I could click on it, and I could go to his individual one and make a change if I need to. Add stuff in it. Boom. There you go. So that's what you can do for digital notebooks. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving. Let's keep rolling. All right. So that's digital interactive notebooks. Now, digital lesson plans, similar. And I want to toss this in here. With these lesson plans, most of the time we make lesson plans and we just like share them with our principal, or we never look at them, or whatever it is. With these, you can take this lesson plan. You could take a full semester lesson plan. You click this. Here's a template if you want it. I've got these linked in here. I actually released these early to my Patreon people, but I'm going to release them to everybody on tomorrow. So if you text teacher that number, I'm going to text out these lesson plans tomorrow if you want them. So you can click on that. You can create your own lesson plan, or if you have your own, I make them through the week. So Tammy's doing exactly what I was going to recommend to you guys. That's excellent point, Tammy. I would take these lesson plans. I just got a full semester one. Okay. So I've got these full lesson plans, and you could go in and you could take this link and you could share it to where they can view it. So I can go in, hold on a sec. All right. So I would go in here, you could fill it out. I made some lesson plans. It's got navigation to different links or to different weeks in the semester. You can fill it out, whatever. But you could take this. If you're okay with students and parents seeing it, it's a great way for them to plan and see what their kids need to do for the week. So you could go in, I could go to my, let's see, I'm going to title this, I could title it Geometry Lesson Plans Semester 1. Okay. So I'm going to title it. And then I want to share this with all of my students so that they can see it. I'm going to make sure I share that with the account that I'm about to log into. All right. We're loading up. How y'all guys doing? Is everybody good today? Are y'all okay? Y'all okay? All the teachers, let me know in the chat, what do you teach? I'd love to know what you teach and what city you're in. How's that? Throw that in there. What you teach and what city you're in. Throw that in the chat while I'm sharing this with the account. Awesome. Okay. So you won't have to do that. You'll be in your account. I'm in different accounts because I have multiple Google accounts. So we're in here. Christine, let's see. Awesome. Oh my goodness. Look at these people. Okay. So what I would do, Tammy, this is what Tammy does, and I think it's a great idea. So you go into Classroom. I'm going to move my digital class resources up to the top because it's important. I'm going to go create. I'm going to go to material, and I'm going to title it, semester 1 lesson plans. And you can make it visible to all the students and all the moms. Okay. All right, so you can go in here. I can say, please refer to this to see what we are doing each day. And then I can add that, go to my Google Drive, and I'm going to grab that link. Okay, and this is, Tammy, I'm assuming this is what you did. Okay, so I'm going to take, let's see, lesson plan semester, search that. Okay, if you edit yourself, it should pop up. Okay, so we're rolling in here. I'm going to click on geometry. I'm going to go to insert. Awesome. I'm going to insert that in there. I'm going to put the topic. It's a class resource because this is something they can refer to all year. And now I've already got it on, you can't make a copy for each student because when you make a material, your only option is to let them view it. Okay, I could change the settings if I wanted to, but I don't. I just want them to be able to view it, and I hit post. It is now a resource that they can reference at any time. Students, parents, whoever can click on this and reference this lesson plan, and they can see where we are in the year. Okay, here's the cool thing. If you're really diligent about putting stuff in there after you do it or during the week you're doing it, next year, you can use this as like a map or a guide to guide you for the whole year. Okay, Tammy, it looks like this is what Tammy does. She goes in, she went to geometry, she went to share, and then she changed it to right here, changed to anyone with the link, and then she's copying the link. And Tammy, I'm assuming that's what you did. You toss that link in there, and you should attach that as a link, which is totally okay as well. You don't have to pull it from there. You can also toss the link in it. Okay, cool. Start thinking of your questions. If you want, we're gonna have a little bit of time to answer questions this time because last time I talked the whole time and I didn't get a chance to answer questions, and I want to answer questions, throw out ideas, walk through stuff that you guys want. So start thinking of your questions, and we're gonna start going through that.
What up? Hey guys, Tyler here, Tarver Academy. What's up, Tyler Tarver? How you doing? How you living? In the chat, tell me one piece of advice you have for teachers. What's one thing you've learned as a teacher or one piece of advice you learned as a student when you had teachers? I would love for you to tell me that in the chat, and let's all learn something from each other as we go. We're about to take a break right now. I'm gonna show some videos. I'm gonna let you kind of learn and say you don't have to go take a break, say you wanna sit at your desk. I'm not just gonna sit here in silence. We're not gonna play some Barry Manilow. That's not how Barry Manilow, what can I do? How about this, the greatest song ever made, Donna Lewis, I Love You Always Forever. I love you always forever, near and far, closer together. Y'all remember, in the chat, what is the greatest song ever made? And that's actually the answer. Donna Lewis, I Love You Always Forever. Second best song ever made, Backstreet Boys, Everybody, yeah. And third best song is obviously, Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping. I don't know, I'm sorry. Tell me your top #1 favorite song in the chat if you haven't gone to take a break. I'm about to stop talking and I'm going to let you learn something or start a discussion or just hear some thoughts. If you leave for this part, that's okay. But if you stay, you're hopefully gonna get some value out of it. And then we'll jump right back in to the PD. Here we go. Hey, Finn, say hi. Hi. So today I want to show you how to make a sick looking resume super easy on Canva. There's a lot more you can do, but this is a super easy way. And I just got done helping some of my college students do this for jobs they're applying for. You ready, Fennec? Okay. So go to canva.com. If you don't have an account, they have free accounts. I've got it linked in my bio for you to sign up. So go in there, and then the search up here in Canva is just sick. Type in resume. It's going to give you all these templates you can start from if you want. Oh my goodness, look at the color on that. That's popping. You just fill in your stuff, put it in there, drag, literally you can just delete those words and put the new words in. It's just super easy. Don't forget, the best part is you can do photos and then you can delete the background. Watch this. Hit effects and then just hit that top one, background remover. Watch this. Bam, look at that. Blech. I'm sorry, I just get hyped about Canva. By the way, we're doing a session at my summer virtual PD for free. Link in my bio if you want. This is a fantastic question and a difficult question. So here's the sitch. Google has not solved that yet. Now they will, because I got faith that can I call them the Googs? I just did. Sorry, not sorry. I got faith that they will add a feature that figures this out. I just know it. Within the year, I would bet a lot of money they will. But for now, what a lot of people want to do is if they use the grade book, what they do is they do it 9-week increments, okay? And then you just archive that 9 weeks for that class. Then you just add students back at the beginning of the 9 weeks and it's good to go. A little bit annoying, but not terrible. And it allows the grades to be accurate because that is a situation you never want to delete assignments. I had to tell my mom that. She was like, I'm just going to delete my assignments. I was like, just don't do that because then I'll make you the worst teacher ever. It's not true. She's great. She's whatever. Now, if you don't use the gradebook in Google, you have to use something else that the state makes you use or whatever. Then the world is your oyster. I forgot the saying. What up? How are you? Are you doing good? Are you having a good day? Do you ever wish that when you're in your email, it kind of like consolidated for you to where you could see like calendar events or some like tasks or something? I got you, fam. So I'm in my Gmail right here. If you look to the right side of your Gmail, what is this? Check this. You can hit this, go see your calendar. I have more than that. It's a burner account. Then you can go in here, go to Google Keep. You can import stuff from Google Keep. You can also roll into a task list. You can have to-do lists. Test email. Okay, yeah, like, subscribe. I mean, I'll just go ahead and like, subscribe. You can put your to-do list all over here. You can even import stuff from emails into this. Watch, I can just take this. I can be like, click and drag and drop. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Look at that. Bam. Bam. You can also pull up your contacts. Whoa, come on now. That's it. All directly from your Gmail. Keep it all on one page. Stay organized. Stay sweet. Stay classy. What? You're not using Google Voice. You need to be, and I'll tell you why. Do you ever get those parents that call and you're like, okay, I need proof that this conversation actually happened? Oh, hello, parent of one of my students who is usually aggravated. Oh, let me tell you something. Could you hold on 1 second?
This call is now being recorded.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I think we're all trying here. Then whenever you hang up, it's going to email that audio transcript directly to your email. So if you start every phone call you receive from students, parents, or whoever, you'll always have documentation of how that conversation went down. It's just really good to have your own back. From a former principal, straight up, it's always good to have documentation. If you want, I made a shortcut linked in my bio if you want to download the app on Apple. Also, Google Voice is completely free. It's free. Download the app on your phone. Follow for more tips and tricks. Don't miss out on the goodness. Public service announcement for all people using Google Drive. If your Google Drive desktop looks like this, that is not correct. Click on the 3 lines, looks like a Thanos Infinity Gauntlet, and make it look like this. This is the way it should look on a desktop. Prove me wrong.
Okay, this one I'm not going to talk about again because we talked about it last time, but we were talking about lesson plans. So I did want to put this slide in here in case you wanted this resource. This is a curriculum map for you to be able to go in and toss links to things. This can become your hub for anything you are doing. Now, next thing I want to show you. Has anybody out there, let me know in the chat, have you used Screencastify? That's a phenomenal app. It is where you can record your screen. You can also record your own face at the same time if you want and make short videos. Now, I think you're limited to 5-minute videos or less unless you are, unless you buy the subscription. I think the yearly subscription is like 30 or 40 bucks for a full year, or if your school subscribed to it. Okay. So we're going to roll into Screencastify. If you have it, you just search it. It's a Google add-on. So you can just search, Screencastify add-on. So Screencastify add-on. Okay. And so I'm going to add this. I'm going to click Screencastify. Dina, I have a Southern accent too, so don't feel bad. I get it all the time. So I want to go to Carissa. Do you know how much the premium version is for Screencastify? Do you remember? Loom. I've heard good things about Loom, Scott. I need to try it. I have heard about it. I heard it's great. So I've already got Screencastify added. If not, you would add it right there. It would be up there in that corner. So now what I can do is I can go up here to the upper right. Do you guys see that little, it looks like an arrowhead? I can click on that. That is the Screencastify icon, and I've got a picture of it in there. Tammy, so those of you that have used Screencastify and Loom, which one do you prefer? I'd love to see which one's better, because if I need to get in there and try out Loom, I need to try it out. So here's my minute warning. You can choose to do desktop, webcam, or both. Let's say I want to do both. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to hit record. What it's going to do is it's going to record my screen for me. See, it's counting down. Boom. Do you see how I've got a screen on there? That's kind of trippy to have two screens. There you go. Yes. Wendy asked if there's a way to record your screen without the students. Yes, you can. You can record through Screencastify, or you can run StreamYard, which is what I'm using. Okay, StreamYard, and it's got a free version that allows you to record and the students are in the chat. So it's recording. I can go up here and I can stop the recording. No, that's the webcam. Sorry. Hit the X. Nope, that's my tools. Stop it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hit the arrowhead. Hit the arrowhead. That's going to allow you to stop the recording. I'm going to say stop. Then it's going to pop up a screen and you have the option of what to do with that recording. Now, here's the cool thing. You can publish it to YouTube if you want and then toss the link in. It has an option to share it directly to Google Classroom. Okay? Okay, I'm going to use Loom. Sorry for recommending Screencastify. Check out Loom. If that's what Tammy and Scott recommend, there you go. It's probably better. So I'm going to pick which class I want to attach it to. Let's go to History of Magic. Choose action. What do I want to do? Create an assignment, ask a question, make an announcement, create a material. Let's say I want to make an announcement. Hit go. Now I can fill it in. Hey, watch this. And then I can hit post. It's going to upload it directly into Google Classroom. How cool is that? I love it whenever these things integrate within Classroom. Super easy, and it's not on the internet. It is on the internet, but it's not public on the internet. It's just to your class, okay? So I can view it if I want to. I can view it if I want to. That's whatever. Okay, so there you go. It became his announcement because that's what I chose. It goes in. What it does is it doesn't stick it on YouTube. It uploads it into Google Drive, and it makes it a video that you can watch directly from Google Drive. There you go. That's awesome. I think that's a really cool thing. Here's the cool thing too. You could have students make screen records where they're explaining stuff. So I'm going to check out Loom, and then I'll let you guys know which one I think is better. Now, we've already talked about organization a little bit, but organization is going to be key, not only for your students as they're trying to work these assignments, they're trying to stay on it. Think of this. This is the mindset you need to have whenever you're organizing stuff or putting in instructions. You have to think, would a parent who has never been in my class be able to walk up, read this, and know what they're supposed to do? Because if the students, especially if they're working virtually, the whole time, they're gonna need you to go in, and they're gonna need you to edit. They're gonna need you to not edit, but they're gonna need you to check. And I'm sorry, let me restart. The parent needs to be able to walk in at any point in time, and they need to be able to understand what's expected of their child so that they can help get the student through the assignment. All right. When you don't have the chance for you to talk in the class, you need to be able to explain it well to where those parents can do it. So anytime you're organizing it, do lists 1 through 5. You're not oversimplifying it. You're making it easy enough for the students to understand and the parents to understand. Another reason you should organize your stuff right now is because as you are doing your class, as you're going through it this year, next year, you'll be able to find all this stuff. So future you would really appreciate it if you organize everything you're doing, okay? A couple other tips that I want to throw out before we do the Q&A part. You need to build community. That means I recommend a minimum of a video a week, preferably a video every day. You could use Screencastify, walk them through what's expected of them for the day. You can use your phone. Your phone actually has you can go directly in the Google Classroom app. You can click on it and you can record the video directly into Classroom, and it'll upload into Classroom just like what the Screencastify did. Now, I don't recommend doing anything longer than like 5 minutes because that's going to take so long for it to upload. It could time out. So don't go longer than 5 minutes. Every morning, you should post a community video, like a welcome video for your students directly into Classroom. And if you can put that under announcements, it's just for you to connect with your students. And students do connect with people through video. So don't think that they can't connect with you and you can't connect with them. So make videos to where they can watch you. Here's the thing though, look at the screen, because on their end, they're going to know that you're talking to them. So when I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to look here the whole time because it looks like I'm looking you directly in the eyes, even though I can't see you in person. They're going to feel that even on pre-recorded videos. So another thing you can do is you can let students do the announcements. So let them take turns and toss it. LOL Master, yes, you can use Zoom to cast to students. You can take that link and then you can take off their video access where you can't see their faces, and then you can do that. So that's what I recommend. So Scott, you are doing daily videos. That's awesome. How's it going? Are they connecting? Are you creating? Are you like asking for discussion stuff? I'd love to hear that in the chat. Okay. So yes. Carissa, I understand that too, because that gets messy in there in the discussion if people are just tossing in stuff. So you can create conversations with students. You guys know this with the bell ringers I have, tarveracademy.com/quote. I've got quote of the day bell ringers. It's a good way to get conversations started with your students and also take a role if you want. I've got videos on that. Hit me up, text me, and I can send you that resource. Just text it to that number on the screen. Okay, other things, little tips you can get from Classroom in here. It's automatically going to create a classroom calendar for you. Whenever you click on Google Calendar, it's going to go into the calendar. Every class you create in Classroom and every class of students are added to in Classroom creates a Google Calendar. Now, you can go over here to the left and you can turn them on or off. So I've got this class, I can turn it on or off. I've got this class, I can turn it on or off. You can choose what you do with your Classroom calendar. So let's see, what else? Google Drive, you have this already sorted in Drive. We've already talked about that. Dina, you used the quote of the day. How's it going? I really want to know because I want to adjust if you're not. I'm actually building out a really cool resource of quote of the day where it goes into like a full year quote of the day binder, but I'm not done with it yet, but it's almost done. Text that number. I'll send it when I'm done. Also create video. Here's the link to the stuff on the quote of the day stuff. If you don't have it, we've already talked about it, but here's the trick. And I don't know if I said this last time, you can use it for attendance. So if your students are required to check in at like every day, you could schedule it to go live at 9 a.m. and then schedule to close at 9:15, like the assignment to be done. Now they can still submit it and get some points, but you'll know when it says submitted late, you'll have the opportunity to mark them as absent. It's like a great way to do attendance for you. So, and yes, Carissa's right. Anytime you add an assignment with a due date, it'll automatically add it to the student's calendar. It's incredible. Here's a little cheat sheet if you want on when to use certain types of videos. Whenever you're just wanting them to get the information, just go find it on YouTube. Toss it in there. You can create a playlist, toss it in there. If you want to present the information, you can pre-record it with your phone, or you can do like a live video on YouTube or StreamYard, something like this. Whenever you want to present, that's StreamYard, that's YouTube Live. When you want to pre-record, you can upload it straight to YouTube. You can do it in Screencastify or Loom. You can do a YouTube Premiere, which is really cool. And then you can go in. And then number 4, conversations, discussions, you can toss in, you can do a Google Meet. That's where students can interact and talk with you. Awesome. I've also got a Google Classroom Starter Kit for students if you want it too. And then that's most of what I have. I've got 10 minutes where I can answer questions, show you guys stuff, anything you want. If you text teacher to that number, you can hit me up. I can shoot you resources. I can, that anytime I make a new resource, I'll throw out free resources on there. It's a good way to stay connected, okay? Dina said, I'm gonna toss this up. Dina said she used them as daily bell ringers, set a timer with a crazy alarm sound. And then, so you do it with a live class. Oh, that's awesome. Do you do that live or do you do that pre-recorded? Either way, that's a really cool idea. I like that. Scott says he does a weekly virtual call during the prep. They love the opportunity to connect. So it's like, you're open on your Google Meet where students can jump in and you guys can interact. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot too. LOL Master said, do you think I should do a Zoom, but on YouTube with your students or no? You would need to get permissions from the students. Anytime you do a Zoom, you're going to be able to see their faces as well. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. When you do that, I recommend if you're streaming on YouTube, unless you're like your building or your principal says it's okay and all the parents say it's okay, I would recommend doing what I'm doing now where I'm streaming live and you guys can chat or comment, but you don't have to worry about any privacy issues with seeing students' faces or their houses. Okay. Dina said live class and virtual at the same time. Ooh, that is cool. So are you having your live people? What I would do, and I'm sure you're probably doing this, Dina, I would have those people. And I would have the people that are in person talking to the people that are virtual. That way you can chat with them. They're having conversations among each other. It's like your in-person people now become like live moderators talking and getting virtual students involved. Because that's the thing. If you're in person, there's a whole level of interaction that's happening automatically For virtual students, they're missing that. There's a little bit of a gap there for them. Anything you can do to link those students and let them feel a part of it is gonna help your class feel more tight and connected to you. So throw in any more questions. Okay, so yes, that's absolutely correct, Robin. That's what Carissa said is good. You can go into the settings of the class and you can adjust that. So I want to show you a couple settings in here. When I'm in my class, I can go to this gear in the upper right-hand corner and I can click on that. And that's where it has all like a plethora of settings for you and any of your students that you need. So you can go in here. This is where you can turn on Classroom Meet. By the way, they're about to drop some dope resources for Google Meet. However, September 30th is the last day. If your school is not a Google Enterprise, you might hit up your Google admin at your school and see if you can get it. Let's see. There's a link to invite. You can do a class code. You can display the class code. Let's see. Classwork stream. You can choose what students are allowed to do and post on the stream. If it's just you, students can comment, post and comment, all of that. Okay? So you can toss that in there. Let's see. Let's see how long I've been on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 13 years. Been on 13 years. I started putting educational stuff on 12 years ago. So I've been putting educational videos on there. Started with math, been doing Google, tech, teacher tips, things like that. Anything to help teachers and students learn and grow. Have fun. Scott said next week he's allowing virtual students to jump on Google Meet during class. They will be projected on the TV. All students will be able to interact. That's so good. I was actually in a meeting today. There were 5 people in the room and there were 18 people on the screen virtually. And we were talking, connecting. We might as well have all been in the same room. I think that is a great, great idea. What can be an alternative to Google Meet? It depends on what kind of interaction you want. So Google Meet, if you're wanting the students to be able to talk and you be able to see their faces, then Meet, Zoom, Skype, if that's still a thing, Microsoft Teams, if your school uses Microsoft, those are all video conference options. That's what Meet is. Meet is a video conference option. You're video conferencing. If you just want them to view what you're saying like we're doing now, but be a part of it, you can let them jump in the chat and then you can talk like this. That's StreamYard or YouTube Live. Now, if you want to cut out any exterior people, you can go in and do a unlisted video, take that link, toss it into your Google Classroom, and then only people with that link can join. Carol asks, she doesn't ask, she says they record and upload video lessons to Google from the camera on their Chromebook for the lessons. So are you guys running that live or are you recording it as a video? The only thing with Chromebooks is they don't have a lot of storage, so you don't want to download it. You're going to want to record it with video live into something and then take that link. One thing you can do, because it takes up a lot of room on your phone or your computer, if you record a video in full, it's like 5 gigs for 45 minutes on most of them. What you can do, a little hack you can do, is you can go in and you can go to YouTube Live or StreamYard or whatever it is, and you can hit like live, but make it private. That way nobody can see it, and you're now allowing YouTube or Google or whoever to save the video, and it's not saved on your phone, so it doesn't take up your storage. Then you can go grab that link and share it with your students, okay? Somebody asked, is Google Hangouts good to use? Google actually transitioned away from Hangouts, and they're now calling that Google Meet. So they've changed that platform. They used to have Hangouts, which is essentially Google Meet. They've rebranded it, made it Google Meet, added some features, and then they had Hangouts on Air, which was like live Hangouts. That is now being turned into YouTube Live. So great question, great question. Wendy said her students turn their cameras off and will not turn them back on. Any tips? No. I say no. Yes. Okay, so I have some tips. To get them to just do it, you can't guarantee it unless you start counting off or making it a requirement of the class or calling people. What you could do is you could have students present, and it's for a grade and they have to present with their video on. Now, before I require them to turn their video camera on, you need to check with your principal and make sure that you are allowed to require that. Some schools won't allow teachers to require video on because it could show the student's house, and a student might be like embarrassed or not comfortable showing their home on video to their classmates. So I would check with my principal first. If they're okay with it, you can start requiring it. It's just like, the rule, like you can't wear a hat in the classroom if that's a rule that people care about. If you can't wear a hat in class, how do you handle that rule? If they wear a hat in class, you address it. They don't take it off. You tell the principal. And that would just be the process you have to go through if your principal's okay with that. So that would be my tip. Carissa's saying the same thing. Checking with the school administrators. So school has to remove them and let the admin add them attendance clerk. No. Okay, so they don't count as attendance. So because students can turn it on. One thing I do a lot is I ask the students questions and I ask them to interact. So, hey, so-and-so, what do you think here? Hey, so-and-so, what do you do this? The same thing I would do in a personal classroom, like an in-person classroom, is call on students to make sure they're paying attention. So great question, Wendy. Check with the principal first, and after that, you can just start getting them involved however you're allowed to. And that's one thing I would do. Carol said that their virtual lessons aren't live. Some of the students do not have internet connections till later in the day. Yeah, that happens. I totally get that. So I'm assuming you're either recording it live, either as private and then making it public, or you're recording it live and then just posting the link, or you're recording it on your phone and then uploading it. There's a couple options of what you could do with that.
What up? Welcome back. Hey, Tyler here. How are you doing? How are you feeling? In the chat, let's do emoji check. And how are you feeling right now? Have you learned? Oh, no. To this point, what is something that you are going to try in your classroom or implement that you might not have wanted to, an hour or two ago? What is something you're wanting to implement in your classroom? Put that in the chat right now. I'd love to see it. I know the other people in the chat would love to see it. I know it'd be some great input. So throw that in the chat and give you, and then you can also copy paste and put in your notes, just so you don't forget. Make sure everything you're doing, you're keeping notes of. Keep links to it, all of it, because I want you guys to be able to access and actually make your classroom better. I've sat through enough PDs in my life, professional development in my life, that I don't remember one thing from. I pray that you walk through this. I am hoping that you get something out of this training that you can take and use, once a day, once a week, once a year, once a decade, something that you use and implement, whether it's a mindset or a skill set or just any type of framework to build your classroom and make things better. Okay? Speaking of making things better, making ourselves better, I do want to give you, some thoughts on something that I offer, a community that we have at Tarver Academy that I think could add you a ton of value. It could help you get better all year. Because right now we're getting better with PD, with professional development. Hopefully you're getting better right now. This summer you're gonna hopefully glean some information, some knowledge, some experience, and you're gonna get a little bit better. I want us to get better all year. I want us to get better all throughout the year. And here's the thing with teachers. We do not have time to go sit through a 6-hour professional development once a week. So what I did was I created a community called Tarver Academy. And it was based on teachers telling me they wanted resources. They wanted a continuation of these trainings, of templates, of resources. They wanted to be handed to them, because if you go out and search for it, you're gonna find random stuff. They wanted stuff that could be applied to their classroom, that they can sit there, bite-sized professional development for busy teachers. That's Tarver Academy on a roll. And I would love for you to join if you want to. If you don't have to, don't pay for it. It's not very expensive at all, but I don't want you to have to pay for it. I would rather you use your district's professional development money. So if you want, have them go in, order that for you. Hey, here's the deal. Okay, let me be real with you. So you are signed up for the premium summer PD. Okay, either you signed up for it yourself, your principal, your administrator signed you up for it, or your district or your co-op. There were some amazing co-ops, districts that jumped in and realized that this could add value and flexibility, because they're offering 3 different sessions throughout the summer. You have flexibility to watch from home, or maybe you're watching with a group, maybe you're watching in your classroom, wherever you're watching from. They wanted you to add that value, and I wanted to give you a huge discount on the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. This is just for this summer, and it's just for the people that are on the premium watches, okay? And so the premium watches, the premium PD, okay? And so if you're watching this, you're here, you're on it, okay? So what you can do is you can sign up at tarveracademy.com/honorroll, and I want you to use this promo code. When you sign up, use this promo code. It's gonna cut in half. And it's one time for the full year, and it's gonna cut in half. Remember, use your district money if you can. So just write the promo code down, or put it in there and then get reimbursed, whatever you need to do. The promo code is premium, because you've signed up for the premium summer PD, and so I want to give you half off. So what that is essentially, you or your district or your co-op or your building paid for the summer PD, and so what it is, you get half off for these honor roll resources that come to you every week for the entire year. They essentially, it paid for more than, it paid for half of this just because they signed you up for it, or you signed up for it. So it's actually a better deal than if you just like straight up bought it. But you'll get access to these trainings anytime you want throughout the entire year, plus anything new. I'm gonna send you something every single week to help make you better in your classroom, because when you get better, your students get better. In the email, every week, you're gonna get either a template, a resource, you're gonna get a short PD video, professional development, a training to show you how to do something you might not know how to do, or reinforce something you're maybe already trying. You're gonna get something that makes you better every week, plus some quick tips, links to some other things, and also you can ask me questions. I have a mailbag where you get to ask questions, and that's the list I'm gonna pick from first. I wanna help you guys. If I don't know how to do it, I'll do the research for you. I'll build, you're like, oh, I really wish I had a digital interactive notebook. Guess what I'll do? I'll go in and I'll build digital interactive notebooks, and I'll give you the template. You don't have to pay teachers. You don't have to go in and throw the money at anything. I wanna just hand it to you, and I wanna do trainings for you to help you. So if you wanna join that community, I think it's super helpful, and it's essentially where I become the tech facilitator for you. It's Netflix for teacher resources, and I would love for you to join and jump on that. So if you want, go there. It's tarveracademy.com/honor-roll, and you can sign up for that. And I think it's just going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge help to teachers throughout the year who have a lot going on and not a lot of time, extra time to go out and do it. It's like as teachers, they always give you more stuff to do, but they don't give you like, oh, here's like an extra 3 hours a day to go out and do whatever it is you're going to do. So if you want to sign up for that, you can. I hope you've used this time also to use the restroom. So if you're just getting back using the restroom, guess what? We've just been talking about Tarver Academy Honor Roll. No big deal. But I want to give you guys time to go do that and get a snack if you need it. Whatever you need to do, we're about to kick back into, we're about to jump back in it. We're going to fall back into the gap, fall into the gap. Man, do y'all remember that? That was a good campaign. That was memorable. Wasn't it? Memorable? Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're about to get started. We'll get started here very soon, and we're gonna jump back in. We're gonna keep learning. All right, let's do it. Let's go. We're still doing this. In the chat, here we go. In the chat, I want you to tell me the name. Okay, ooh, don't say that. I was gonna say, tell me the name of, you know what? You can do that. Tell me the name of a teacher who made an impact on you and what they did. Why did they have an impact on you? In the chat, what name of a teacher or an educator that had an impact on you and what they did to have an impact. It was either the way they treated you, the way they ran their class, or the way they inspired you, or just the way they had structure maybe. They were reliable, they were consistent. I would love to hear in the chat, name of a teacher that motivated you as a student or as another teacher and what they did. So let's throw that in the chat, and we're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it. We're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it like a pogo stick. See that? See what I did there? Nope? Okay, all right, let's get going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We ran through the gauntlet of Google Classroom, incorporating things. We got some practical looks at some stuff. Hopefully you walked away with some resources and maybe some ways to assign things that you weren't as familiar. This last section it's all about a student view. This is what it looks like for students in using Google Classroom. Hopefully it gives you an idea of what it looks like for them as you're putting things in Classroom. This is it. After this, we're done. We got a little break in there, but this is the last lap of our race in Google Classroom. Beginners.
Let's jump in. We're talking about Google Classroom, and we're going to be looking at it from the student side. I am going to show you a little bit of like, here's how you make this assignment, but most of what we want to talk about today is for your students. So this video might not be a bad one to bookmark and then send to your students the first day of class. So if you're wanting to, make sure that your students are going to like feel comfortable in here, that they know how to submit assignments, this might be a good video for them to have so that they know their expectations. So here we go on the road again. Just can't wait to do Google Classroom again. So we're going to go in here. We're going to click this. Hey, real quick before we start, last thing I want to talk about. Did you hit the red subscribe button yet? If you didn't, you should do that, because if not, it's like a chain email. If you don't, you'll never meet your true love. Y'all remember chain emails? Y'all remember those? Okay. Well, they had a good run. Okay, so here we go. All right, we're looking at Google Classroom. I'm in here. I could create a class, but I'm going to hit join class. This is what it looks like for a student if they want to join a class. Just like you would go up here and you'd say create class, students are going to go to classroom.google.com, and then they're going to click the plus sign. I'm going to click a student. Remember, I'm a student. I'm going to hit join class. Now, this is the class code that you gave them. Remember when we did Monday, we did Google Classroom for Teachers and we showed the class code. I wrote down a class code. We'll do, this was my burner account, S2X. Okay, so I'm going to join that class. That might be an I, not a lowercase L. Or I might have written the entire LFTHS2X. I feel like I got it correct, but we'll check again. Okay, here we go. LFTHS. If this doesn't work, so help me. That's fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in and I'm going to add myself because I've got my other screen pulled up. I'm going to add a student, which is who I know what it is. I'm a part of an organization. So keep that in mind. Remember we talked about last on Monday, if you're a teacher, you cannot add students from certain domains if you're signed into your like regular account. So what I just did is I tried to share this with my from my @Gmail account, and that's the name that created the course. And what I'm trying to sign into is my Tyler @Tarver Academy account. Wow, Tyler. Wow, boy, didn't think that one through, did I? Or maybe I did. Maybe this is all just a teaching exercise. You know, when you think about it, it could be. It could be. So let me write this in here. While I'm writing this in the chat, I want you to list what you would like for me to cover next week as we talk about virtual learning. If you could type in the chat, is it you want me to cover YouTube? Do you want me to go through and break down YouTube pages? Do you want me to talk about virtual learning? Do you want to talk about schedules, how I break up my schedule if we're all virtual? Whatever it is you want me to cover, if it's another Google skill, put that in there. And we can even recover some stuff. So in the chat, put what you want me to cover while I type in this account stuff real quick. Sound good? Go for it. Da, 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 da. This is so good. So good. Virtual learning. Okay. Hey, Mary, if you would get even more specific, what do you want me to cover with virtual learning? I would love to know if there's something in particular that you want me to cover. So let's do this. I'm going to share my entire screen. That's what's up. Wow. Look at that inception. Am I right, guys? Okay. So I'm going to take this here and I'm going to sign in here. Okay. So now I'm in this view. Keep telling me what you want me to cover next week. I want to hear it. Okay. I want to know what you want me to cover. So we're in the stream. Coffee time with Tyler. Okay. So I'm signed into one of my accounts now. I'm going to sign in as a student. I'll let you see as a student. We're waiting. Wow, that's cool. It's taking its dear sweet time. Man, it's good. Hey. Okay, without using StreamYard, best way to video a lesson. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna tell y'all honestly, YouTube, and I love StreamYard, and I'm using StreamYard right now. I figure I will just be using straight up YouTube in 6 months because they are really good at developing. They're good at developing stuff that is tailored around using just their platform, and that's what they want to do. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep developing things and adding things to their repertoire of stuff that they use. So here we go. All right, we're back in it. I'm so sorry about that. Please forgive me. All right. So a student, remember, I'm a student. Okay. If you've invited a student to your class, like you typed in their email address, they're going to get this right here. This is where they would decide to join your class. So they would hit join. Student would go here, they would say yes, and they would join your class. Well, they couldn't join it. Cool, great, grand, wonderful. Now, most of you guys are probably just going to give them a code. They're going to go to the plus sign. They're going to hit join class. Okay. Come on, little buddy. Type in the class code. 6C. Okay, C6G52PM. See, and here's the deal. Like you guys, we did this. It was unintentional for me to do this, but this is a good, it is a good example of what can happen when you are doing virtual learning. Whenever you're teaching a class through a video online, there's an element of you delivering your instruction that is out of your control. Okay. It's like usually you're standing in front of your classroom talking to your students, and your students are sitting there and they're hearing it. The only thing in between that is the words coming out of your mouth and them hearing it. Okay. There's not a lot of room for error or mistakes. When you put technology in there to bridge that gap, it adds this whole level of opportunities for things to go wrong. Okay. We just saw it. We just saw what happened. Okay. With that. Now, whenever you're doing this, the main thing to have with your students is you got to have patience. You got to let them know, like, hey guys, this stuff happens. Give them something to do while you figure it out, or move on to the next thing. I asked you guys to talk about what we're doing next week, which was extremely helpful because I do want to, know what you guys want me to talk about next time. So here we go. So I just signed into my Intro to YouTube class, which is a class you can join if you ever want to. It's just it's like a step-by-step procedure of a class on how to get used to YouTube. So here we go. So I'm going to go in here. This is an introduction. This is an assignment for introduction. This is actually an assignment. Like there's something to do here. And I can see that as a student. Look up here at the top. Stream, that's like everything goes in there, including announcements. Classwork is the stuff that I'm being graded on. Remember whenever we talked about, whenever we were covering Google Classroom, how classwork is stuff that you want to hold them accountable for. So right here, they can go in and see it. If I'm a student and I'm really just trying to get through a class, there's times they're going to skip your stream. So keep in mind as you're teaching that everything you put in the stream might not be something that they're going to really focus on. Okay. So what I like to do is whenever I post in the stream, I also like to hit the button to where I email it to all the students, because that gives me another level of communication. You cannot over communicate. It's like you got to have that Google mindset as a teacher in these virtual classrooms, that you cannot over communicate, you cannot oversimplify, and you want to give 2 or 3 ways to get something across the students. So let's say I have an announcement about something we're going to do in class on Thursday. I'm going to post it as an announcement. I'm going to email it. If you have a student group me, you put it in the group me. You put it in every location those students might possibly see it. So I'm going to click on here as a student. Introduction. I can look at it and I can actually click view assignment, so I can see that individual assignment as a student. It's telling me that I can add or create files for my classwork, which is true. So this assignment was big question: how do I navigate YouTube and start a channel that meets my needs? I rolled in the way I set this class up. I kind of broke down big question, description, all that, personal application, and then I have discussion question. In the comments, write your name, where you're from, what you do, and post a link to your YouTube channel if you have one. Okay, so people are in here posting all that. So they're hitting up, they're numbering all these. I should have probably numbered these, because that way if my instructions were to put that in there, I could have done it. So let's just say I'm going to copy off of Tyler. How's that? Boom. I'm going to take Tyler's. So I'm going to go in here. I could go to this class comment and I could post this. Now, you as the teacher, you're going to see I copied. I'm not saying students will copy, because students would never cheat ever on their assignments. But I'm going to have this in here because I want to pretend like, I'm doing the assignment. So I'm going to hit boom. That was part of my assignment. Now, as the student, let's say I had to send this, like the instructions were, put this in a Google Doc, okay? Because I didn't give them a Google Doc, did I? Or did I? Because right here, I gave links to different things. I gave links to my YouTube, all that stuff. Right here, I set it up to where they had a Google Doc that is a notes template. So they have it. They have view only access. You can set it up for your students to where it automatically creates a copy for them. I couldn't do that on here because this is it was an open to the public account, and the way I set it up, I couldn't do it on this assignment. So they're going to hit File, make a copy, and I'll put my name, Tarver, enter to YouTube course notes. Boom, it's in my drive. Okay, yours is easier because your students are actually going to be created and sorted automatically. Okay, so there we go. I've got my Google Docs. Put my name in it and I fill it out. Let's say I walked through this whole course or this assignment and I put all of that stuff in there and it's all ready to roll. Okay, got it. I don't need all these instructions, Google. That's what we're doing, our instructions. Okay, so I'm going to go to introduction. So let's take a drink of our coffee, shall we? Now, what I want to do, this is a big part of what I want to show you guys today. I want us to talk about, well, where do my students submit the assignments? We saw that they go to classwork. They saw that they can click on the assignment. Now, from there, they can add or create their work. So from here, they can choose to put in something they've already done, a doc sheet, slide, a file, a link, whatever. Say their assignment was to create a website. They're just going to put the link to the website. If it was adding something that they create a drawing, if they're doing, like, say you told them to watch a video and take notes and then upload a photo of the notes, that would be a file because they're uploading a picture. And again, they can do this all from their phone. That's going to be easier for them if they're old enough to have phones. I can have my Google Drive, or I can create it new from here. So say you told them create a doc. That's why you got to think through. Like, I love thinking through what the students need and what they're submitting, because you can identify that in your instructions. Like, if I wanted them to create a doc, I would have told them in the actual instructions of that assignment, create a doc, do this, this, and this. They can create it from here. If I wanted them to use the template, I would say, use the template I gave you and edit it to make it yours. You got to be very clear on here. So I just made the doc. We were just together on that. So I'm going to go in here. It knows recent is where I just was. I'm going to add in that. Boom. It is now attached my Google Doc that I created. Now, I can actually add more Google Docs. So say it was a Google Doc and then I needed a picture of my notes. So think through, as a teacher, not only do you have to have them fill out something, you can actually put another option to insert, hey, take a photo of your work on this, or take a photo of you if you're completing this project at your house, take a photo of you at this step, and this step, upload those three, and then upload, your final project. Think through what you want them to upload and be very clear with what you want them to upload. Now, this part right here, before I hit turn in, I want you to see this part in here. See private comments? That means that I can say something specifically to the teachers of that class. Now, that goes to all the teachers of the class. If you have a co-teacher, they can see it as well. This was fun. I can send that private comment. Boom. Now that this one assignment to have a conversation with you about doing this assignment. So that's a good way for them to communicate. So if you want, and honestly, guys, I told you earlier, whenever you have an announcement or something you have to say to your students, you can send it out to like everywhere that they might be. But it's also really good to tell them, like, I'm going to send it everywhere I can for you. But the best place for you to communicate with me, tell them, is it email? Is it the private comments? Is it through Google Classroom? Like, where is it that you want them to communicate with you on? So the good thing is when they do this private comment, it's going to be attached to this assignment. So let's say it's like an old assignment, then you're going to be able to see that they have a question about that assignment it's going to take. You don't have to go search for it. That's one of the most annoying things as a teacher, is having to go in and search for the assignment that a kid just emailed you. And they never really explain which assignment it is. They email you and they're like, hey, I couldn't figure out number 3. And you're like, we've had like 8 assignments you haven't turned in. Which number 3? You know what I mean? So here we go. I'm going to hit turn in. It's going to say, are you sure you want to turn it in? It's going to attach this document, turn in. Boom. There you go. Where do most students hit snags on this stuff? most students do not finalize the turn it in button. They do not hit submit on it. That's one thing I always have to reinforce to our students is don't just attach it. Some students will attach the assignment and then they bounce, they leave, they get out of there. You have to tell them to mark it as done, like submit assignment. You need to show that you completed it. And sometimes you're like wanting to add points for a discussion. Okay, the discussion happens over here, and I'm already making the discussion right here. That I've already attached to the discussion. They think they're done. If you make it a classwork assignment, they still have to hit submit. What I would tell them is, hey, put your comments in the discussion, but then also copy paste your comments up in like a Google Doc or however you want them to, or they can just hit submit. You decide. Be clear whenever you're doing that, because if not, they're not going to know what to do. Now, I want to show you something before we move on. So let's click over and let you see more of my screen. There we go. Okay, so if I'm a student and I have submitted an assignment, let's say I'm like, oh, wow, this isn't due to tomorrow. I submitted it today, but then I'm like, yo, I did not, attach something I need to attach. They can actually unsubmit the assignment. Unsubmit to add or change attachments. Don't forget to resubmit once you're done. See, Google's trying to help them out. You hit unsubmit, it pulls it back from you as the teacher. I can add or create more to it, and then I can hit turn in. Let's see what it looks like whenever I add, let's say like a link. Say that you asked me to, because I did ask, attach your YouTube channel. So let's see, .com/Sir Tyler Tarver. Okay, so now I've attached a link and I've attached to my Google Doc notes. So I've attached two things. Again, I always, whenever I teach these classes and I ask them to watch something and then they're doing the assignment, I always attach the notes because they know they're now being held accountable for watching the videos. That's one thing students will bounce out of. And if you've ever taken a grad class, you're probably maybe guilty of that as well. So there we go. So we hit resubmit and we've resubmitted our assignment to our teacher.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Wow, this was so good, so good, so great. So we're gonna do a break right now. If you need to go use the restroom, grab something to drink, get a snack, whatever you need to do, you can go do that. Make a call, I got a text message, I got a call. If you need to do that, go for it. I'm gonna show some videos on the screen that hopefully will add you value in case you stick around, get your notes together, maybe record some stuff you've learned so far, reflect. But we're gonna throw some stuff on the screen. There's a timer on the screen to show you how long you have till we jump back in to what we are learning. So keep an eye on that, and I'll see you guys here in a minute. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Yo, can I show you a feature you need to turn on in Gmail like now that I call the Save Your Job feature? You ready for this, gamers? Here it comes. So when you're on your Gmail, just go over to the right and click on the little gear. Looks like a little gear. We're gonna click that and then we're gonna go to see all settings. Boop. So go to the tab that says general, should automatically pop up. Here comes the general. Sorry. Okay, go to the fourth one down, it says undo send. Turn this on anywhere 5 to 30 seconds. I usually do about 20, feels safe. Then it says like the only thing you have to save in Gmail. Scroll to the bottom and click save changes. I've already got it, but you need to click save changes. Then you just go and write your little stuff. You're like, hey, I want to see your email. And you hit the send button. Now, after you hit send, watch the lower left-hand corner. Hit send, Tyler. There it is. Look at this. Message sent, undo or view message. I have that 20 seconds to hit undo and it brings it back. Bring it back now. This is helpful if you're sending to me, making fun of your boss, to your friend teacher. And this way you don't get fired. You can... Yes. Plus I want to show you a tip for Jamboard. It's very easy, very quick. It's going to help your life. By the way, this is in reference to the Google resource slideshow that I gave you. I'm going to show you which slide it's on. Ooh, here we go. First off, you can be in the presentation, hit Command F. What it does is it brings up this little chicken nugget, and you can type in Jamboard. Jamboard. It'll show you everywhere. There's one for a Jamboard for a walkthrough, and then bam! Jamboard. There's a slide, and there's a 30-minute training within this training where they can learn more about Jamboard. Let me show you a quick tip in Jamboard. So let's say you're trying to write something. You're like, I want to make a straight line. And you're like, oh, wow, this looks like I did this while I was skydiving. You can actually hold Shift while you do that little click, and it'll make a straight line. I can't do this. I don't have enough hands. Hold Shift, click, and it will, see this? It makes it a straight line that I can just drop like that. Look at that. Look at those straight lines. Hold Shift, bam, money, game time. I've got a little holder for it. Let me turn it around. Hey guys, Tyler here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you want to, you can go to the Summer PD link in bio. Spoiler alert, did you know that Google Slides just added a feature where you can have the text auto shrink or the boxes auto shrink based on the size of what you're putting into your Google Slide? Let me show you that right now. Okay, so usually you start typing and you're like, oh, look at me up top of the letter, blah, 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 blah. And look at this garbage. Look at this absolute garbage. Look at that. I'm the kind of guy who likes to color in between the lines. I would like to formally apologize for getting so hype. Let me show you how to do this. I'll be honest, I don't know where it is up here. If you know, just let me know in the comments. But I just go to help and I just type preferences, P-R-E-F, preferences. Click it. Then you want to click use custom autofit preferences. Then you have options for the theme text placeholders and the new text boxes. You can have it do not autofit, that's what we have right now. Or you can have it shrink the text if it becomes too much, or resize the shape to fit the text if it gets too big. Let's go with shrink text overflow. Now when you have text in there, it's going to autofit based on the size. Look at this. Put it back in. Look. I can help you with that. You ever get it to where there's so many tabs at the top you can't even function? Let's fix it. So up here at the top, I've got all these tabs, and there's just a tab overload, tab-a-labba-ding-dong. What am I saying? So what you want to do is you want to make them shrink down to just the icon, fun fact, called the favicon, and you want to shrink them down to make them really small. So you're like, oh man, Tyler's YouTube channel, like and subscribe, is very helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to pin that tab. Watch this. I'm going to right click up here on this tab part, and I'm going to go down to pin, P-I-N. Here we go. Watch what happens. Yeet! Shrinks down to just the icon and it moves to the left. That right there, those 5 is less the size real estate than this one. You can tab them all. You can tab it up. Tab-a-labba-ding-dong. What am I saying? Fun fact, free PD available, link in my bio. Sign up now, it's free for you. Learn about Google, yes you will. And you can probably get it certified with your school. Just ask. Oh, so I was leaving the library and they had these TVs up of all the March Madness and the basketball games. And I was thinking to myself the whole time, are these kids doing their homework? For real, like I love U of A. Congratulations, Arkansas. You know, got a degree from there. What's up, alumni? Here's the deal though. Are these kids getting done with this game? They're like, yeah, okay, I gotta go study for Western Civ. I just need to know. What y'all think? Is that, bro?
Okay, cool. Cool. All right, now let's go in and let's see what it looks like whenever a teacher makes, let's see, I'm the teacher of this class. So let's see what it looks like for a student whenever you post like a quiz. Sound good? So let's go in. We're going to see the teacher view and then we're going to see the student view. So I'm going to click on this. I want to hit cancel. I don't want to make an announcement. I want to do classwork. Let's say I want to create I want to hit create. I want to create a question. The question is, which is best of these? I don't want it to be short answer. I want it to be multiple choice. So is it Bears beats? That's not how you spell beats. Mr. Beast, a very popular YouTuber, beats or Battlestar Galactica. I spelled that right. Okay, there we go. Which is best? I don't need a due date, all that. Let's hit ask. Now we are going to look at it from the student perspective. We're going to switch over to this account. Take a drink of that lovely tea. So Starbucks blonde roast tea. All right. So I've already signed into this class as a student. I'm going to see my classwork. Okay. Which is best? See right here. Boom. Got it. This is what it looks like for a student. So if you ask a question and you label it as a question, so that's good for like bell ringers, or if you want to do like a quick, hey, we're taking roll for today. Show that you're here. Show that you've checked in. And that could be an option for you. Like that could literally be worth 5 points every day is checking in at the right time. Check in by 8:30 in the morning if they're virtual. Which is best? They could say Bears beats or Battlestar Galactica. I mean, Bears. Have you ever seen The Revenant? It's got to be Bears. Okay, submit. You will not be able to make changes to your answer once you hit submit. Hit turn in. Boom. And it's going to show me what everybody else viewed. So present, not present. You could do that as the question. And I could view the question later if I wanted to. There we go. I turned it in. Here we go. Let's look at this assignment. And then I want to answer questions. So start throwing some questions in. Things you might want me to roll through as a student. Anything like that before we finish up today. Today might be our shortest day. We've done I've tried to shoot for 30 minutes every day. And we've only hit at like an hour every day. So hello, class. Watch today's video for quote of the day. And in the comments of this post, give your thoughts on the quote and how it applies to you. Do you agree with Tyler or disagree with him? I mean, he made some good points. There I am. This is a discussion. This is what I always tell you guys for quote of the day, which you guys, if you're not doing quote of the day for your class, I've got that, tarveracademy.com/quote, and I've got everything you would ever need for quote of the day. I've got 180. You can do it for the whole school year. So I've already attached, let's see, that to it. Is that what I want to attach to it? Maybe, oh, I've already submitted this assignment. Because, remember, I didn't show y'all that. Look, I'm going to head back. Whenever I'm a student and I'm looking at these, watch if I unsubmit. Let me see. I want to show you. This is really good. This is really good for your students to know. Unsubmit, unsubmit. Okay. Now, whenever a student's going in, a lot of times especially if they're doing remote learning, they're in task mode. They're like, what is required of me at the earliest date? What do I need to work on? It's like a order of operations for their classes. They want to know, what do I need to work on? Whenever they're in their classwork up here at the top, when they're in classwork, if it is like a darker color right here, that means they have not completed it, okay? It'll also say due dates on here, but if it's a lighter gray, that means they've completed. I've completed all these assignments as a student except for this one, so I know to go in there. I know that I need to finish this assignment. That's how students know if they have to complete that assignment or not, okay? So there you go. That's a good way for students to know what's due of them. Here's a fun fact. I don't know if you guys knew this. When you schedule an assignment for students in their classes, well, first off, when you assign a student in a class, it automatically generates a Google Calendar and it adds them to the Google Calendar. Okay, that Google Calendar is for your class. Anytime you have due dates on your class, it'll automatically show up in their Google Calendar. So they're actually creating a calendar for you in what they're probably already using as a calendar, and it's generating these things in their calendar. So there you go. All right, that's pretty much the gist of that. Let's see if you guys got any questions that we can roll through. Due dates. Please show the student view of assignments, due dates, missing work, graded work, etc. Oh, okay, we can do that. That's great. Mary, awesome. Here we go. So we're going to start with due dates, missing work, all that. So I'm going to go over to, I'm in here as a student. I'm going to go switch over to a teacher. And we're going to use the, okay, reload. We're going to use the Google quote of the day stuff. All right, so let's see. I'm in here. This is my class. Right now I'm in as the teacher, okay? So I'm going to create the stuff that Mary was just talking about. She said assignment due date. So I want to create an assignment. Week 1 Monday. Waiting, loading. I think I just did too much. You're doing too much. That's the thing that deers say. What does this quote mean to you? I'm actually going to search for the video in Google Class. As a teacher, I can search YouTube directly from Google Classroom. I don't have to go to YouTube if I don't want to. So that's an incredible, incredible tool. So I'm going to go YouTube. I'm going to type in, let's say, Tarver quote. And then I'm going to pick, there's a Martin Luther King Jr. one. Okay, there you go. What does this quote mean to you? Now, Mary's question was, what does it look like for the students when they have due dates? So I'm going to make it worth 100 points because it's super important. The due date is, we'll make it due Monday. at that time. And topic, I don't know if I already have topic, bell ringer. Okay, cool. So I'm going to assign it. Awesome. So there we go. Now let's say also, I'm going to go into people and I'm going to go to mine student that I'm about to go to because I want to hit up where you said graded work, missing work, all that. So it shows me right here my student, that individual student, and I want to go in and see a turned in assignment because I want to grade it. No, I want to grade this one. Okay, view details. Okay. Loading. While it's loading, if you want in there, throw in anything that you want me to cover that I haven't. So I'm going to say you got a 9 out of 10, and then I'm going to hit return. Student will be notified. You can check any grade. Don't want to tell them a comment. You forgot to capitalize your sentences. Tell them what they did wrong if you want. Hit return. Awesome. Okay. Now, I submitted all those assignments, but we can come back and look at what it looks like for missing work. So, boom. All right, so I got that. We're good. Let's switch over to this student. So I'm actually already in here at classes. As a student, you can go to do, and I can see all the stuff that I need to, it stinks because I'm in here as a teacher as well, but as a student, I can see the stuff that I need to work on. So that's a good spot for students as well. So let's go to the class. Let's go to classwork. Okay. Now, I can see that I have this missing assignment. Let's see, where is it? Boom. This is my assignment that has been graded. See, I can see that it's been graded. So I want to view the assignment. This is what it looks like for me as the student. I've seen that it has been graded. I can see that this is the private comment. Remember how the private comments are attached to the specific assignment? So whenever you make a comment as a teacher on their assignment, that assignment still is the hub for all the conversations about that assignment. So I can see my grade up here, 9 out of 10. I can see what I got right there. So I can go to, all right. Oh, here it is, enrolled. That's where my to-do list is, sorry. All right, got it. Looking in, that's what my grade looks like. That's what those private comments come in through looking like. So let's go and look at what it looks like for missing assignments. So now, whenever I assigned that assignment earlier, I can't say assignment more than I already am. When I assigned that earlier, I'm looking at right here. It's darker, which means I haven't completed it, and it shows me my due date right here. So I know now it's just like a regular assignment, but instead of no due date, it has when it's due. So then I can click view assignment. I can go in, I can add private comments. I don't understand what you want from me. And I know that's misspelled, sorry. Okay. So as a teacher, I can see all of that. Let's see, from my classwork, I can go into this one, what's due. It's assigned to 4 people. I can actually go in and see right here from where that assignment is. Do you see underneath the name as the teacher? I can see that private comment. It shows me right there what that comment is, and I can respond directly from here. I don't understand what you want from me. I want your opinion. I'm spelling every word wrong on the quote. Okay, sorry. That's bothering me now. Okay, I want your opinion on the quote. Hit send. So that's how we're communicating on these assignments. You can go in and see all of those communications, and those students can see them as well within their assignment. So yes, you can email them as well, because some students are going to want to communicate that way, but you can also keep the communication directly in Google Classroom. So let's say that, okay, so let's look. Let's see if we're, I'm going to delete out of this. So if we are a student, so this is my student, and I got that assigned, missing work. We showed the missing work was that. Now, if it's late, you know, you can lock them off. You can go ahead and give them the grade. But do you see what my option was as a student? on the assignment that I'd already submitted and had already been graded. Where is it? Let me see. Now look at this. You know how we do things in topics before? You can actually, when you make those topics, as a student, I can see all those topics over here. So I can click and I can see just the bell ringers. So if you're doing a bell ringer every day, they can actually sort them through here. Bell ringers, quizzes, reviews, chapters. You can go by chapter, whatever you want to use as a topic. That helps me as a student organize what I have to do. Because, you know, sometimes students don't think that bell ringers are that big a deal because they can skip out and not have to pay attention the first 5 minutes of class. But this allows them to go in and see all of those bell ringers and look at them. Here we go. So this is one that's graded. I can hit resubmit. I can turn in another one. I can add, it's already been graded, but I can still add stuff to it. Now, some teachers take the stance like, oh, you graded it by this date or it's due by this date. Sorry, after that, you can't do anything. I mean, what's the goal here? Is the goal to give them a grade or is the goal to let them have learning experiences? So if a student messes up on an assignment and then they want to go back and learn more and do better, is that something you want to consider? I think, personal opinion, I say the goal is learning. If they want to go ahead and do more learning to make up what they missed, let's see about giving them more points. Okay. That's something I would always want to encourage for an employee or a student. So just a thought. Cool. I can never remember how to tell students where to find the missing work. Let's see. Thank you. I can never remember to tell students how to find the missing work without just staring over their shoulder and walking through the process. Tell them to looking out. Tell them to go into their to-do. So like enrolled, to-do. These are all of my classes. These are the things. This is where they see their missing work. It's got a due date. It's red, all of it. I can see, click on it, and I can go to that assignment. That's how they know what they need to do. So there it is, guys. We did it. We did it. Let me scroll up and see what you guys said you want to do next week. We got Jamboard. I've used Jamboard some. I haven't used it a ton. It's like, it seems to me like it's like a more fluid. Sorry, I said like 80 times. It is on Keynote. If you're in a Keynote, like the Apple one, you're on your iPad and you're presenting, you can like write over the screen and you can circle things. It's really good. It's like you're doing a presentation from the screen. It's really cool. This is like Google's response to that, to where you can do all that on there. So I might go in and play with Jamboard. That might just be because I haven't used it a ton. So it might be a Jamboard learning session. Like we just go in together and learn it. So I might do that. That's a good idea. I'm going to write that down. Jamboard. We got virtual learning. Mary, what are you thinking with virtual learning? What could I help with? Is it best practices? Is it what you would do to present? All of that. I would love to know more details. Or I could just talk about virtual learning. I could hit that. Best way to make a video and add it to Google Classroom. Okay, we could do that. Make video. Okay. I can do a complete walkthrough of iMovie. Most of you guys have Macs in your classes? Do you have Mac computers? Do you have Chromebooks? I can't show you walkthroughs on building a video on Chromebook. I could show you, because honestly, you guys could make most of your videos from your phone, especially if it's you talking. You could do audio and or video of you doing that. But I could walk you through the process of taking that from nothing to getting it uploaded into either Google Classroom or YouTube and getting it on there. I would like to watch someone just do a virtual lesson and tell us how to set everything up. Okay, I can do that. That's good. I mean, really, there's a couple different ways. And again, I don't want to go. I could go through and just do virtual right now, but I will say this: there are a few different ways to do a virtual lesson. This right here is essentially a virtual lesson. You guys are interacting with me. I'm running it live. And here's the nice thing: if a student misses it, this video is still available at that link forever, because I'll keep it on YouTube. So you can come in and watch it at any time. And so when you do it live, it's like you can get those active participants while you're teaching. You can get Meg in to talk about Google Slides on Wednesday. You can actually like have another student come in and co-present with you in your class. So that's a good one. We got anything virtual learning, videos, audio, YouTube. Also, have you guys been a part of a YouTube premiere? That's right now we're doing this is live. Okay, we're doing a live video interacting with you guys. You guys are tossing in questions and comments. A premiere is something that I go out and film beforehand. So let's say I'm a teacher and I go out and I film myself for 20 minutes. I prop this up and I teach a 20-minute lesson where I'm talking and I'm explaining the American Revolution, or I'm talking about Paul Revere. There you go. I go and summarize Paul Revere in 20 minutes on this video. And then I hit end and then I upload it. You can take that video and you can upload it to YouTube and you set it as a premiere. And the difference between uploading a video to YouTube and just posting it and a premiere is that the premiere is going to play and students can watch it live. So if you've got virtual and you upload the video as a premiere, you could tell them like, hey guys, you have to tune in at 8 o'clock to watch the premiere. And so you've got the video already rolling and then they're in the chat and you could say in the chat, because you can be there too. It's like you have a co-teacher. So your video is playing, but in the chat you say, all right, everybody, tell me that you're here. And then they would have to say present, present. And their name is on there because it's attached to their YouTube accounts. Mary said they don't have, that's YouTube Premiere. I have a video on how to set up a YouTube Premiere, but I really love YouTube Premieres. Mary said no Macs. Man, so you are using Chromebooks from home? Is that what you're using? Mac would be great because you have iMovie and I can show you how to edit in iMovie. I think WeVideo is what people use to edit on Chromebooks. Okay, Judy, you said how to set up where they can see us and the whiteboard at the same time. With the whiteboard, are you talking about like you standing in front of like a projector or a dry erase board and them seeing you in that as a video? Or are you talking about doing what we're doing right now where they can see your screen? Because if that's the case, I would use StreamYard. They do have a free option. Save as MP4. We had to convert and add to Google. Oh, wow. Tracy said videos done on a phone does not always save as an MP4. We had to convert to add to Google. So you had to convert from an MP4 to add it to YouTube or add it to Classroom? Because Classroom lets you upload video automatically. That's interesting to me. I'd have to play around with that because I've never had that issue. A .mov and .mp4 both have uploaded to YouTube from my experience. However, if you're not uploading it to YouTube, maybe you're downloading it on the computer, maybe it didn't work. So seeing the whiteboard, not just on the board. Okay. What I would do, Judy, she had a question, said, yes, seeing the whiteboard, not just the board. Okay, so let's say you're doing a virtual class and you've got students in person, but you've also got students watching from home. So you got like 20% of your students are watching from home. What I would recommend is you could attach, like I say attach, you need a webcam. You could have your computer because if you have a projector, most of you guys probably have projectors in your room, that's running from your computer. So what you could do is you could run StreamYard like this. You could only project your screen to those students and they can hear you from your computer, but they're seeing what you're doing on your whiteboard. So when you're clicking through and doing all your stuff and going around here and you're presenting on your screen, they could still see what you're doing on your projector. So that's one thing you can do. So Holly said you had trouble with it taking a long time to upload a YouTube video to Google Classroom. Okay, that's not unusual, especially if you're doing like a full 30 or 40-minute lesson. Honestly, that just depends on your Wi-Fi or your internet connection. One thing I've done is I've recorded the videos, like 4 or 5 of them. The best way I've found is recording in bulk. So I'll go out and I'll record, 2 to 5, videos. And then I go somewhere that has a good internet connection and I'll upload from there. You can go to Starbucks. You can go to, if it's at school, if it's at your house, wherever you have decent Wi-Fi, and hit the upload button. Also, and if you're just going there to upload, because, as a guy who's uploaded like 2,000 plus YouTube videos, you're going to waste a lot of time. So what I always try to do is it's really big on time management. So you don't want to sit and wait for 3 hours for a video to upload and just be sitting there looking around. What I'll do is I'll have the videos upload, set them all to upload before I go to bed. And so when I'm going to bed, I have them upload overnight. Or I'll, like if I'm going out to eat lunch, yesterday I did this. I needed to upload a bunch of photos that I took for a dance company. And it was going to take a couple hours. So I was about to go out and eat lunch with my wife. So I set them to upload before I left. And while I was gone, they uploaded. I've also had videos upload in the background while I'm going in and checking emails and while I'm doing other projects. So it's a good time to work on the next thing before you move on. Holly said, librarian reading a book for story time. Okay, this is a good one. You could do this right here. I think this would be a great avenue, because then you could just be like, here's a book. I actually have a book. So if I'm reading, by the way, great one, Becoming Better Grownups. Have you guys read this? You could sit here and I could read the book and then do this, show them the photos, and then read the book. And you could do it from here. Pre-recorded. Here's the pro and con. If I'm doing it live, I'm trying to talk, interact, process, and read comments and interact. So it gets a lot of and you're looking, and there's chance for lag. If you went and just recorded with your phone, propped up your phone, and then you recorded you reading that lesson for that book, you could set that as a premiere, and then you can have it playing as a premiere. All the students are talking in the chat. What that adds to it is that you've already got the video done and it's playing, but you're already conversing with the students. So when I do a premiere for teachers on trainings, I can't go in and answer their questions live in the video, but I can answer their questions live in the chat. So while I'm teaching on the side, I'll go in and I'll answer questions on the side in the chat. I'll grab links, toss them in there. Teachers are like, oh, I wish I had that resource. I can go find it while I'm still teaching in the YouTube Premiere because it's pre-recorded. I can go grab a link, toss it in, and reply to them, say, yo, here's that link you wanted. And I can give them all those resources. So it's a good way to have like a co-teacher while the video does it. So as you guys know, I've been putting up like I used to teach high school math, and I would record videos of myself after school teaching for like 20 minutes. And one day I was going to go to a PD. So I recorded myself teaching, and I was like, okay, the students will watch this video, tomorrow so that we don't miss a day of class because I'll be gone for the PD. Well, it turns out I wasn't leaving until halfway through the day. So what I was doing, I was like, well, I already recorded the video. So what I started doing was I would play the video in my classroom. It's playing on the screen. And then me, and the human real life version of me, I was walking around and helping students individually. That's essentially what you're doing with a YouTube Premiere. You've got a video playing that can't be distracted, because believe it or not, I can be very distracted in a classroom. Because students want to joke around or bring up stuff or reference things. I'm teaching and nobody's interrupting me because it's a pre-recorded video. And so I know that lesson is going to be 20 minutes because that's how long I recorded it. While that's playing, I'm walking around the class and I'm helping students. I've essentially created 2 teachers for my classroom, and they're both me. And so that's what you're doing with a YouTube Premiere, because you can toss in links, you can answer stuff in the chat. You aren't crazy that it might take an hour to download. No. And I don't know if you mean download from your phone or upload into YouTube. YouTube, I think, uploads a little faster than if you're uploading it directly into Classroom. Because if you're uploading it into Classroom, it's going into Drive. If you upload into YouTube, it's going into YouTube. I think, from my experience, YouTube uploads faster. So that's a good question, Holly, and I hope that I answered it. Also, I'm sorry for wearing a hat today. I look super, super ratchet.
We did it. We did it. We learned something. Did you learn something today? In the chat, I want you to put the thing that you are taking away from today. Put one thing in the chat right now that you have learned or that you have realized or that's reinforced something you think. Put that one, that I like to call this the golden nugget. Put the golden nugget from today in the chat. And that way, if somebody's missed it or they checked in, go ahead and you guys can copy paste what other people put. If there's some advice, you can screenshot it. Get this. I want you to throw in the best thing you learned today. It's like a best of highlight reel for your favorite thing that happened during this training. Toss that in the chat right now so we can share and grow together. Okay, we're about to do the evaluation. Before we do, I want to remind you, if you want access to this entire training at any time throughout the year, not just these live broadcasts, you can join the Tarver Academy Honor. Why'd I do this? Hey guys, Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's like Netflix for teachers. Netflix for teachers, because you have resources, you have templates, you have PDs, trainings. It's literally like a library of trainings, and then access to ask questions, to request resources that I build and send out to teachers all around the world. So tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to join the greatest community on the planet. And I'm not biased at all. I mean, all of us, you're on the honor roll. You want to be on the honor roll? Sick. Let's all be on the honor roll. And I'm a dean, so keep me on the dean's list. Hey, that works. Okay. All right. Now it's time for your evaluation. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you thought for this, but also I'm going to send you a certificate saying that you sat through this training. You put in the time. You wanted to learn. You wanted to grow. You wanted to get better. This is going to be a certificate that I'm going to email to you. What I need you to do is I need you to go to the link on the screen, or hover over the QR code with your phone. Get your phone out, hover over it. It's gonna ask you a few questions. If you don't get this, it means that you put your email address in wrong. Make sure, please do not rush this. Type your email address in correctly. Please, I'm begging you, because if not, you're gonna email me, I never got my certificate. It's because your email address is wrong. Type in your email address correctly, fill it out, fill out your name, make sure you capitalize, make it look good, because it's gonna fill into the certificate from this. So I need you to put this in correctly, please. Okay, go there, we're gonna walk you through it. Go into this, click on the link, or you can't click on the link because it's on a video. Type in the link on your computer, or type it in on your phone, or whatever device you have. Scan the QR code, fill it out. I'm gonna send you a certificate with a timestamp on it saying what time you ended. You have proof from earlier if you sent in to the other link of what time you started. And then you also got your notes and all the stuff you've learned, your screenshots, all of that to show your administrator or whoever, your spouse. You show your friends, show people on the streets, all the learning that you did. You can frame that certificate. I think we're all getting framed. You get a frame, I'm getting framed. I'm gonna put it up on my shelf. I got too much stuff on my shelf already. So look at this, Lonzo Ball rookie card. If you got any, by the way, you got any basketball cards you want to sell, hit me up. I've been slightly obsessed with basketball cards, and I apologize for bringing it up. Look at this. I've got, this is all Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I mean, he's the GOAT. Everybody says it. Who's in the chat? Who is your favorite basketball player of all time? I'd love to know. If it's Lonzo Ball, it's quite the coincidence because I had it sitting on my desk. If not, it's probably this guy. Probably this guy right here. See that guy? That's Michael Jordan. No big deal. It's whatever. Don't like to brag about it. I mean, it's not that expensive, that card. But if you got any cards you want to sell, holler at me. I don't know why I said that. I'm just stalling so you guys can fill out your evaluation. All right. Y'all feel good? I'm gonna leave this on the screen for you for a little while in case you had to step out for a second. I'm gonna leave this up. Thank you again so much for your attention and your time and everything that you put into learning and growing with us today. I'm Tyler, this is Tarver Academy. Let's learn and have fun. See you guys later.